Blog Talk Radio.
Here we go. Blast off.
This is True Capitalist Radio. True Capitalist Radio.
I am your host, the man they call Ghost.
The badass of business.
Give him capitalism or give him death.
That's it. Period.
Broadcasting from his Skyline office studios in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas.
You sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops, for Christ's sake.
And now, he'll take it from here. Your host, the prognosticator of prognosticators, the man they call Ghost.
How's it going, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of True Capitalist Radio. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. This is episode number 458. Episode number 458 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like for everybody to please spread it around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it is blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That's blogtalkradio.com/ghost. And of course, if you have not done so, please follow me on Twitter. The Twitter name to follow is PoliticsGhost. All one word, no underscores. PoliticsGhost is the name to follow. Folks, it is a Thursday. I hope everybody's having a good, decent week at this point in time. Of course, the hit pieces continue to come from the mainstream media, and that's why I continue to do this broadcast in hopes of trying to expose the hypocrisy, expose the lies, expose the slander from the mainstream media. So with that being said, before I get too political in the first hour, let's go ahead and get right into the markets here, folks. Now, why are we seeing continuous increases in these markets, even though there is no justification based on earnings or earnings forecasts? Well, folks, what it comes down to is you've got, and I've actually taken I wouldn't say a scientific survey, but a survey from investors on why people are actually buying at these high prices when there is no justification to do so. Now, a lot of these folks are actually optimistic about the economy based upon the hopeful tax cuts that Donald Trump has campaigned on, and now that the Republicans have all branches of government, there should be no reason why we have not seen tax cuts at this point. Now, this whole love romantic relationship that the investors are having with the potential Trump tax cuts is really what's fueling this over-speculated market in the equity sectors, folks. I'm telling you this right now. That's the only justification that I can see why we have these continuous record growths as it pertains to these index composites in the equities markets, folks. So, with that being said, that's why we are continuously seeing increases in stocks, because this romance of the supposed impending Trump tax cuts is really what the investors are going at, and that's why they're so optimistic, and that's why they continue to buy at these prices. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right to the stocks. Now, folks, before I go over the indexes, I did, believe it or not, suggest a stock this morning for all you pattern and day traders out there. If you did not see the tweet, well, it was symbol PTX. Symbol PTX. This is Pernix Therapeutics Holdings, Inc. Now, the reason that it was increased in the morning was because I thought it had something to do with a migraine drug approval. Lo and behold, they won a patent case against a generic drug that attempted to take their intellectual property and capitalize on it, and they won that patent case. So as a result, the investors are already calculating in those settlements as potential revenue, if not this quarter, maybe next quarter. So this is what's fueled this particular increase in the pre-market. We saw it as high as like 50% increases in the pre-market. And the reason I suggested this is, once again, folks, let's go back to the fundamentals when it comes down to potentially picking out a day or pattern trading play. Once again, symbol PTX. All right, this is on the NASDAQ. Now, when I saw this stock in the pre-market, it had already traded close to about 600,000 shares in the pre-market. You take a look at the average volume of this stock. Average volume, meaning the average shares traded of this particular stock each day, the average volume is, that's what that figure is. The average volume is 426,130 shares traded of this share every day. So we had already gone way over that in the pre-market. So that's a good sign. You take a look at the 52-week lows, 52-week highs. 52-week low, $1.83. So you're coming off of a 52-week low. That's also a good sign. You take a look at the 52-week high. 52-week high on this stock was $24.40. So there's a lot of room there. There's a lot of people holding the bag. This stock obviously has gone up and down, so that's a decent sign. And the reason you want to see that as a factor is not just a pattern or day trading play. That particular factor, in my opinion, gauges whether or not if it is actually worthy of pattern or day trading, to be honest with you. After the volume and after you see how much the average daily volume is and if it's equal or greater than in the pre-market, the 52-week low and the 52-week high is a factor so that you could pattern or day trade. And let's say, God forbid, that the stock market contracts right in the middle of your pattern or day trade. It's happened, folks, and it will continue to happen. This is something every day trader needs to factor in as well. That's why they always have to not just look at their stock, but look at all markets altogether, all news coming in, so on and so forth. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the markets contracted in the middle of your day or pattern trading play, and you're left holding the bag. Well, if you're left holding the bag, a good reassurance, if you have to hold it for more than that pattern or day trading play, let's say you have to hold it for a week, a month, 2 months, 6 months, this 52-week low, 52-week high gauge is a fairly decent factor and an insurance policy on whether or not this thing will actually come and give you profits if for whatever reason you're holding the bag in a pattern or day trading play. It's happened to the best of us, folks. So that's a good sign coming off the 52-week low. And then, of course, folks, you take a look at the news that's causing this particular increase in the stock. The news was they won a patent case against a generic from Activius Labs, it looks like. So once again, you have a variety of different factors. Now, as soon as the session started today, and this is what you always have to factor in whenever you're eyeballing a pattern trade or a day trade in the pre-market, is when the session starts, you're going to start seeing a whole bunch of people go at this stock like a bat out of hell. You got to wait anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes into the session before you start seeing the dip. Now, if you take a look at the chart on PTX, take a look right at the beginning. You had a lot of people going in, and then you had that first dip right there. You see that first dip? Now, the morning of this particular stock was a beautiful chart to day trade on, folks. Take a look at that chart in the morning. You look at those. There's 3 huge dips, Well, 2 dips, but 3 huge waves is what I meant to say. As you can see, there's one wave in the beginning as you get that first dip off the initial session. Then you can sell off, and look, I caught this one this morning. Then you got the next dip, which goes down, and then it goes back up into the day's high. And these were peaks and valleys that you want to get into so that you can gain easy liquidity, folks. These are the kinds of patterns that you want to see on a chart. These are the kinds of plays that you want to see. That's what makes liquidity right there, the beginning of the morning of that chart. Now, what happened thereafter? Well, right after that day's highs wave, we started seeing once again all of Wall Street like hyenas just hounding this stock like a dead animal carcass. And by, I think, about 9:30 at Central Time, we had already seen close to like 4 million shares traded of this stock. And as I told you earlier, the average volume is 426,000 shares traded a day. So as you can see, right after about 11 a.m., you started seeing nothing but choppy waves, and then you see that huge dip at around 11:30. And then it just continues to fizzle out, folks, just short and choppy waves. Those are the things you don't want to see, because that means the big hedge fund managers and the big money managers, the machines, for you folks that are unaware, there are actually autonomous machines that are trading in a very high-frequency pattern day trading type capacity, and they have a different strategy than us that are actual human traders. The machines, they have an algorithm in which they take a look at all these factors that I'm discussing with you and make a decision based upon those factors to buy or sell a share because of these factors, and they hope, and the objective of most of these machines is just to get a couple of pennies, if not a penny, sometimes fractions of a penny in these high-frequency buy or sell type strategies here. So when you see these people hound these stocks in like hyenas on a dead animal carcass, you start seeing nothing but these short, choppy waves. What you want to see in a typical day trading, pattern trading play is look at that beginning of the day's chart on PTX. Look at those huge waves. That's what creates liquidity right there. Anyway, folks, that's enough analysis of that stock. Once again, those are the reasons why I chose that particular stock to watch. I hope those of you that are listening in kind of gather these factors and are starting to realize that, hey, this is not that hard. It's not. It's not that hard. And, we need to continue to email, tweet at, Facebook, mail, whatever the case might be, the president, Mnuchin, and everybody else that's a part of the economic team of the Trump administration, and we need to implore them. We need to urge them to take away the PDT rule, preventing small investors the freedom of trading. And for you folks that are unaware, the only folks that can partake in pattern or day trading are those, here in the United States at least, are those with at least $25,000 in their brokerage accounts. And if you happen to day trade with less than $25,000 in your brokerage account, the brokerage firms are forced by a variety of different regulating entities to freeze your account. So once again, we need to lift that rule on PDT. We need to lift the PDT rule on small investors. And once again, I implore you to tweet at the president, tweet at Mnuchin, email, whatever communications necessary, because I'm telling you there should be no reason why individuals that are listening in can't utilize the liquidity that's available in the markets today to be able to supplement their income, if not make it an actual income. There should be no way. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and once again, I just want this to be a call to all capitalists, especially small up-and-coming capitalists. You should be able to trade whatever money's in your account, however many trades, however many times you want to. You should be accorded the opportunity, the freedom to be able to trade in a high-frequency day trading capacity, there should be no reason why the small investor was out-regulated out of the market, because that's what this is, folks. This is a regulation. I mean, once again, I hate to keep beating a dead horse here, but do you all remember? Do you all remember when we used to have all these E-Trade commercials with the baby? Remember TD Ameritrade with that schmuck from, what was that, Law and Order? Remember that? Remember all those trading commercials? You don't see them anymore because there's no reason to advertise to regular people because they're not going to be able to invest as freely as they want to any longer, thanks to Mr. Yes We Can and the Democrats over here who out-regulated the damn freaking small investor. It makes me sick. So once again, I am imploring you, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you, please tweet at these guys. Please email them. Do whatever communication's necessary to just urge them to lift this law, man. I'm serious. Just urge them to it. There should be no reason why the independent investor has robbed this opportunity of fast liquidity. Anyway, let's continue going on here. Let's get to the breakdown of the equities market. Once again, folks, the reason we're seeing some increases in the equities, especially the Dow, is because investors are in love with this impending Trump tax cut. And let me tell you something. I'm not too sure if this tax cut is really coming along very well. You had the Secretary of Treasury, Mnuchin, saying today in an interview that he expects a tax cut at least by August. By August? I mean, come on, man. We need that tax cut because if this tax cut doesn't come sooner than August, then we're going to see a lot of economic turbulence that I don't think America's prepared for. I mean, we need those tax cuts to inject a huge surge in the job market. We need those tax cuts to inject more liquidity spending. I mean, I like those ideas that were initiated by Trump. 0% capital gains up to about $150,000 or $250,000. I like corporate taxes going down to 15%. I mean, I could only imagine other initiatives that they're going to put in this tax cut that is going to inject economic productivity into this economy. But for whatever reason, folks, and I've been saying this, the Republicans are stalling. I don't know what their problem is, and I've been suggesting on this show that the Republican establishment is doing whatever it takes to sabotage the Trump presidency, and that's why we have to start getting politically serious, because if we don't, these idiots in Washington, D.C. are going to continue to do the same crap they've done throughout the past 50 years that has put us in this precarious situation in today's America, in $20 trillion in debt, $14 trillion of that due to useless wars, which we've got nothing from but veterans who are disabled that we can't even take care of.
Calling the beautifully redesigned 2017 Mercedes-Benz CLA simply a four-door coupe is like describing a world-class athlete as just a good runner. With its sleek profile and powerful turbocharged engine, the CLA offers agility and design that are unmatched in its class, and it's available now at an exceptional price. Why drive any four-door coupe when you could be driving the 2017 Mercedes-Benz CLA? Visit MBUSA.com/CLA to learn more. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
I mean, this is all we have to show, and that's what Donald Trump campaigned on. Look at our roads, look at our bridges, look at our airports, look at the American infrastructure. I mean, it's a shame that people that are out here protesting over mindless, ridiculous, divide and conquer type mental stupidity don't see the big picture. That all you idiots out there that are protesting, regardless of why you're doing it, have been had way before Donald Trump came along, you stupid morons. You've been had by Obama. You've been had by George W. Bush. You've been had by Bill Clinton. You've been had by George H.W. I mean, do you understand? You can't blame a man who's barely been in power a month for all your ridiculous problems. And all you're doing, you stupid, dumb, googly-eyed, highly psychotropic, medicated idiots out there protesting, all you're doing is putting fuel on the fire for your own totalitarianism. Jesus Christ. Anyway, folks, look, I didn't mean to get off on that tirade, but by God, man, I've never been in such of a stupefied America. Oh, my God. I've never been in such a stupefied America in all my life. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to the stock market. Let's get to the Dow Jones Industrial here. Once again, Dow Jones Industrial's up today. And as I've stated, these investors in the investment community are romantically in love with this idea of a Trump tax cut. But when you've got Mnuchin in an interview this morning talking about, well, we might see a tax cut hopefully by August. By August? I mean, that's not a good sign, folks. That's why those of us that realize that the Trump train goes on and it is not a cult of personality a la Milo Yiannopoulos, Cernovich, and all these other alt-right assholes who are putting themselves above the actual presidency now that the campaign's over, we realize, those of us that aren't cult of personality assholes, realize that we have to continue to maintain our seriousness. We need to be as serious as the left. We need to be as serious as the political establishment. We need to be as serious as the globalists. And that's why I continue to do this broadcast, folks. I'm telling you, 3 hours a day, nonstop, 5 days a week. This takes a lot of time, effort, and, of course, energy. But the reason I do it, folks, because I know if I don't do it, there ain't that many people that are doing it. And the so-called alternative media that's out here isn't giving people the truth. They're just sitting there trying to have their own agendas being carved through their own narrative and hope that those that are listening, those that are watching, actually accept it. So anyway, with that being said, I'm sorry I'm going off keister here. Obviously, I'm a little upset. I'm a little angry. We shouldn't be going through this much social and political turbulence, given the fact that we just have a new president that's barely been in office for a month. Anyway, let's get to the Dow Jones Industrial, shall we? Now, Dow Jones up today, 34.72 points, a percentage increase of 0.17%. Closing out the Dow Jones Industrial, get this, 20,810.32 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. I mean, give me a break. I mean, we're almost at 21,000 Dow Jones Industrial, and I'm telling you, folks, even Goldman Sachs and some of those bastards over there are starting to publicly say that there may be a little bit too much confidence in this market because there is nothing justifying these high prices. I'm telling you this right now. Anybody who has made any money in the market, what's the classic motto? Buy low, sell high. Right now is if you buy now, you're buying high. And you don't want to buy high for the long term. You want to wait for that contraction. And let me tell you, you take a look at the factors coming ahead, okay? You take a look at the Fed minutes that we talked about yesterday. The Federal Reserve is discussing imminent increases in the interest rate, which, of course, folks, will increase the value of the dollar, which has been over-speculated. And it's not because of any other reason other than the uncertainty in the international community. You've got uncertainty in Britannia. You've got uncertainty in the EU. You've got uncertainty in the Middle East. You got uncertainty in Asia. And this all ties into the economic system. Most of these investors that are out there trading in these areas, they don't want to cash out in their currency of origin. They want to cash out in U.S. dollars. And that is what's creating an increase in the value of the dollar. So when you've got a run on the dollar and then you're going to increase interest rates, that's going to increase the value of the dollar even more. And this, I think it was yesterday, Mnuchin I think he was playing a little bit of psychological warfare with the Federal Reserve, because unlike one of Trump's economic advisors who said about 2 weeks ago that the strong dollar, they don't really, well, they didn't exactly say they wanted a weak dollar. They praised the euro as undervalued, which sent the market going towards euros and making the dollar slip in value by default. Now, the reason that they're attempting to do this is much like I had suggested. If people continue to see the value of the dollar rise, those people that are hoarding dollars, that are saving dollars, are not going to spend them. And if we're not going to have people spending those dollars, then we're going to have a very stagflation economy, because we need those people to circulate those dollars in the American economy, because it's circulation of money that creates wealth, that creates economic opportunities, that creates a booming economy. So what Mnuchin tried to do yesterday was try to play a little bit of psychological warfare with the Fed and praised a valuable dollar yesterday. I don't know if y'all saw Mnuchin and his interview. He's out there. Let me tell you something. Mnuchin's doing damage. All right? I mean, I'm telling you this right now. I mean, I hate to bring this back up, but you remember when he got sworn in as the Secretary of Treasury? One of the first things he did was say that the Vice President of Venezuela was a damn drug trafficker, and he had the financial evidence to prove it. It wasn't after that Nicolas Maduro, the communist dictator of Venezuela, came out on his national state-run television saying, "I don't want no trouble with Trump. I don't want trouble with Trump. I'm sorry, Trump. We don't want no trouble with Trump." Yeah, that's right, Nicolas Maduro, you fat bastard. And you want to know why he came out and said that he didn't want any trouble with Trump? Because Mnuchin exposing the vice president's illicit deals in drug trafficking shows why Maduro and everybody in the communist government is getting fat in the ass while the whole country of Venezuela starves to death. All right? So the last thing Maduro needs is for the Trump administration to hint towards to the Venezuelan population that the government is getting fat off of the underworld while you're literally starving to death. I saw an article linked at the Drudge Report that the average Venezuelan has lost 19 pounds within the past 6 months or 8 months, whenever this apex of this this tragedy of, I guess, misallocation of resources by the communist government of Venezuela. 19 pounds. People are. I mean, that's a national average in Venezuela, for Christ's sake. I mean, I reported a couple of weeks ago that they've already eaten all the dogs and cats, so there is no more dogs and cats out there in Venezuela. They are now resorting to eating some of the wild animals that are out there in the Venezuelan jungles, flamingo, anteaters. I mean, I'm not even kidding around, folks. I mean, this is a horrible tragedy that's happening in Venezuela, and it's a direct consequence of centralized planning, centralized economics, communism, socialism, whatever you want to call it. So anybody at any time ever wants to make a debate that socialism works, you tell them to take a look at Venezuela. And there should be no reason why Venezuela is in the precarious situation it's in. They've got the third largest oil deposit in the world. And they just came off of a market back about 2 or 3 years ago in which the damn barrel of oil was up about, $110 a barrel? And you want to know why they misallocated resources, folks? Because like every bureaucratic socialist or communist system, the bureaucrats took the money and they put it in their own goddamn pockets. And that's why there's misallocated funds there. That's why, I mean, I don't even want to get it. I've talked about the Venezuelan situation, but once again, communism, socialism at work, Venezuela. Anyway, let me continue going. I know I'm going off keister here, but these types of tirades, I believe, need to be said so that people can get enlightened on why exactly things are the way they are. And I believe that's why people listen to this broadcast as well. So let's go ahead and get to the S&P 500 here. S&P 500 is up 0.99 points, a percentage increase of 0.04%, closing out the S&P at 2,363.81 points for the S&P 500. Let's go ahead and get to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is down today, which is in vast contrast to the other two indexes. The NASDAQ is down 25.12 points, a percentage decrease of 0.43%, closing out the NASDAQ at 5,835.51 points for the NASDAQ composite. I mean, once again, helter-skelter, uncertainty. I think, once again, these people are smoking crack. And, you know, every time I say that the investors are smoking crack, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this romanticism that they have on these tax cuts that I don't even think Congress is even debating or even talking about right now. That's why Mnuchin said, you know, hopefully we get a tax cut by August. By August? Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me continue going here, all right? Energy, let's get to the commodities here. Energy, all right? Now, energy is up, folks, and the reason it's up is because OPEC is trying to put out all these pretty reports that they're obliging those cuts that they agreed to some months back, and everything's going as planned. I don't believe it one goddamn bit, all right? I don't believe it one bit, but of course, investors, I mean, hey, they're smoking the crack pipe on these equities markets. Why not translate it to commodities, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and get to energy, okay? Energy is up today, 77 cents. I'm sorry. WTI sweet crude is up today, 77 cents, a percentage increase of 1.44%, closing out WTI at $54.36 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. We've got Brent crude also up today, 67 cents, a percentage increase of 1.20%, closing out Brent crude at $56.51 per barrel of Brent crude oil. Gasoline continues to rise, even though we're having helter-skelter type activity in the oil sector. Gasoline is up once again, 0.71% increase on the day for gasoline. Natural gas, the feast or famine commodity, it's up once again today, 1.31% increase on the day for natural gas. Heating oil also up today, 1.44% increase on the day for heating oil. Let's go ahead and get to the metals, shall we? The metals! Let's get to the goddamn metals! Now, we saw the dollar decrease a little bit here, and the reason is because I think the investors are starting to get a little bit hype about this impending Brexit out there in Britannia, and not to mention, I think that the uncertainty is setting in, and I don't think that the investors are on a cohesive investing mindset. I think everybody has their own perceptions on what's going on in this markets, and I believe that many of the people that are reacting are younger, who don't have any experience in this market, who are a bunch of little young hotshots. I've seen them time and time again in every bull market. They think that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I'm telling you, before you all start thinking that you're Gordon Gekko out here, you need to realize that these things have come and gone before. And what makes this particular bull run so dangerous is that there's nothing justifying it. There's nothing justifying it. And look, whether you want to believe me or not, just do your own research. I mean, take a look at the earnings of all these companies. I mean, take a look at the projected forecasted earnings of these companies. There's nothing justifying these record highs. There's nothing justifying it. Anyway, let me move on here to the metals here. Now, the reason I'm saying we've had such uncertainty, take a look at gold today, folks. Gold is up today, $17.40. A percentage increase of 1.41%, closing out gold at $1,250.70 per troy ounce of gold. Now, what did I tell you folks about a couple of months back when we saw gold at about 1,000? Remember? 1,000 and change. I said, man, buy, baby. And that's what I hope some of you did. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of folks in the Capitalist Army and the Inner Circle are accumulating metals as a good portion of their portfolio, and I think it's very, very smart of you guys because when all else fails, I mean, the safety net for every investor is always the metals, and you can see it reflected even in today's market. They don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, look, the investors are scared crapless. Let's go ahead and get to the silver. All right, silver is also up today, folks, 22 cents, a percentage increase of 1.20%, closing out silver at $18.17 per troy ounce of silver. I'm telling you, those metals are looking good here. Copper, folks, is down today. Check this out. Copper is down 3.31% decrease on the day for copper. Ouch, baby, ouch. We've got platinum up very modestly today, a 0.06% increase on the day for platinum. Let's go ahead and get to agriculture, folks, all right? Now, once again, the dollar has slipped, so that means that we should see some weird helter-skelter activity in the commodity sector. And the reason I suggest this is because if the fundamentals are out of whack as it pertains in conjunction with currency, gold, and equities, commodities are going to be just as out of whack. So let's go down. I'm looking at nothing but bloody red in commodities here. Bloody red in commodities. So let's just go ahead and get to them. Corn down 1.52% decrease on the day. Wheat down 0.55% decrease on the day. Oats unchanged for the day. Unchanged for oats. Rough rice, the only green in this whole index. Rough rice is up 0.11%. We've got soybean down 1.06% decrease. We've got soybean oil down 1.24%. Canola down 1.20% decrease. Let's go ahead and get to the soft, shall we? Now, ironically, we're seeing increases in the cocoa commodity. Remember, we've been seeing nothing but decreases, even going into Valentine's Day. Anyway, once again, cocoa up 1.55% increase for cocoa. Let's get to coffee.
Hey, dude, just don't talk to me, Don't talk to me unless I have my coffee, dude, yeah?
Shut up, you stupid social justice warrior fruit! Anyway, coffee is down today, folks, 0.63% for coffee. And I'd like to take this opportunity once again to let everybody know to boycott Starbucks. Boycott Starbucks, for heaven's sake. They're an anti-American company. They're going to go out here and slap the American person and slap the American veteran in the face by saying that they're going to go out and hire 10,000 illegal immigrants. And let me tell you, this boycott has been effective. I have been reading about it. It is hurting their bottom line. We should continue to go on with it. We should ridicule anybody with a Starbucks cup. As a matter of fact, everyone who consumes coffee, this is your opportunity to create a new entity instead of continuously feeding your money to this ridiculous corporation that obviously honors illegal immigrants more than you. So once again, folks, boycott Starbucks, goddammit, boycott Starbucks. Anyway, let's get to the next commodity, sugar. Sugar is down today, folks, majorly down. 2.66% decrease on the day for sugar. Good God. Let's get to orange juice. Orange juice is up 1.12% increase on the day for orange juice. We've got cotton up today, 0.81% increase on the day. We've got lumber up very modestly, 0.08% increase on the day. Rubber is also up 0.91% increase on the day. And ethanol down 0.32% decrease on the day for ethanol. Let's go ahead and get to livestock. Once again, very, very weird market in this particular index. Live cattle up modestly, up 0.39%. Up 0.39% increase on the day for live cattle. We've got cattle feeder up modestly 0.04%. And by God, lean hogs continues its decrease, folks. Its sell-off after being increasing for months. It is down today 1.73% decrease on the day for lean hogs. And before we get off of the markets here, I do want to remind everybody, as days go by, we are seeing more and more countries calling for the elimination of hard currency circulating their economy. The latest country, Taiwan. Taiwan now wants to make their economy completely cashless. This, of course, is a growing number of countries. Remember, the prognosticator strikes again, folks. I had been saying that this is a trend happening worldwide, and I'd like to remind everybody, we cannot have this happen here in this country. We cannot have it happen in America. Hard currency, if it is eliminated, the first group of people that will be impacted the most is the poor in America. The poor in America will be the first ones affected. And let me tell you something right now. The poor in America, if you think that they have no economic opportunity now, just wait until you eliminate cash. They ain't going to have zero opportunity. I'm talking economic opportunity. So once again, I would definitely like for everybody to recognize the importance of cash, because I don't see why we're going to eliminate it. I mean, that would be eliminating economic opportunity for impoverished people. I mean, like I said, when I first came to San Hambonio here about 4 or 5 months back, 6 months back, I saw a kid, barefoot Mexican kid, with a cardboard box full of candy apples, coming up to my freaking window while I was at a damn stoplight trying to sell me candy apples. Now, I was a little shocked and taken back and didn't really expect that, but still, I'm sure some people actually bought candy apples from this kid, and I doubt that he had a goddamn credit card swiper, all right? I mean, he was accepting cold, hard cash, and I'm sure he took that cold, hard cash and either freaking go feed his family or go fix his freaking mom's heroin addict fix. So once again, folks, we cannot, and I repeat, we cannot and should not accept the elimination of cash in America today. It will hurt the impoverished people. And let me tell you, I know I talk a lot of garbage about the PO in America, and the reason I talk garbage about them is because there are no PO in America. And the people that are poor are the working poor. And what I mean by the working poor, I'm talking about, some young chap out here who isn't very attractive, who's probably a little pudgy, probably four-eyed, freckle-faced, ugly bastard. Mommy and daddy don't care about him. So as a result, what does he have to do? He's got to go out and work. He's got to go out and work whatever job that's out there, if not overtime. Of course, there is no overtime, 2 jobs, whatever the case might be. And this poor chap, even though he's working his ass off, is barely able to scrape out a living to get a goddamn efficiency apartment and maybe some crap, disgusting car that's breaking down every goddamn 10 miles. All right? That's who I feel sorry for. I feel sorry for the working poor who don't qualify for the entitlements, who don't go out and get the handouts. Those are the people that I feel sorry for, and those are the people that will be affected first, the working poor. I mean, a chap who's working, he's busted his ass off just to be his own independent man based upon the economic opportunities that are available in this country, and you mean to tell me you're going to rob this man of an opportunity to make a buck on the side? Huh? I mean, give me a break. Anyway, with that being said, folks, Bitcoin. What did I tell you about Bitcoin? It is now turning into a legitimate alternative to this ban on hard currency, folks. All right? I mean, I've talked about the story in Zimbabwe, and if you aren't familiar with Zimbabwe, they have printed out too much money that a roll of toilet paper out there in Zimbabwe is like $25,000. I'm not joking around. All right? And that, of course, hurts everybody because when the money's meaningless, then, how the hell are goods and services supposed to exchange? Well, Zimbabwe farmers, folks, believe it or not, they're able to maintain their farms and maintain profitability through Bitcoin, believe it or not. Bitcoin is allowing folks who would otherwise be stricken with their incompetent economics within a geopolitical location or totalitarian economics, which is what is happening by these governments banning cash. And I want to get to this, and then I'm going to say the Bitcoin price, and then we're going to move on. If they ban cash, not only does that affect the poorest people in a country, but it also makes the government the overlord of all transactions that happen in the country. All right? I'm not even joking around. It makes the government the overlord of every transaction. Now, why does the government want to control every transaction? Well, let's just take a step back, for instance, and ask, why do they push this climate change nonsense? Why are they trying to say that it's humans' fault? Why are they trying to say that you have a carbon footprint? Why are they saying all this? Well, because, folks, they're trying to blame you for climate change, even though the climate has been changing ever since history has been evolving into today. All right? I mean, the whole reason why the French Revolution happened is because it had one of the harshest winters it had ever seen, and there wasn't enough food to go around, and then you had an incompetent broad like Marie Antoinette rubbing in the faces to a starving, freezing people that the people had no other choice than to go and try to overthrow the damn government, man. But anyway, I don't want to get into a climate change debate, but why do you think they're trying to make human beings the basis for the reason why climate change is occurring? Folks, they want to tax you for not only breathing. I have read the documents. They want to tax you for everything that you do because you are the problem with this so-called climate change, global warming, or whatever the hell they're going to call it. Just imagine if a government was in control of all transactions and they brought in new taxes to tax people so that if your carbon footprint is bigger than others, they're going to charge you for it. I mean, folks, we're already seeing incremental totalitarianism in economics being implemented in municipalities all over the country. I mean, I read that one municipality is going to charge a salt tax. A salt tax. Even though Japan consumes more salt than any other nation in this country, or any other nation in this world, excuse me, and they have the highest life expectancy in the world. So that should tell you something. But you see, no, our government, they want to charge a salt tax. They want to regulate how much soda pop that you can have in a glass. They want to regulate everything. So, folks, of course they want to control every transaction that's made in this country because they're going to tax you at every vice, at every interpreted unhealthy decision. They're going to tax you on how much you weigh in comparison with how tall you are and combine that in some ridiculous formula on how your carbon footprint is affecting the world. I'm not even kidding, folks. I'm not kidding. That's the true agenda. That's the true objective of this whole climate change nonsense. It is a tax for not only breathing now, they want to tax you for whatever you do. Oh, you have a pizza? That's unhealthy. We're going to charge you a sodium tax. We're going to charge you a fat tax. We're going to charge you a health tax because that's unhealthy. I mean, do you understand where all this is going? So that's why I'm trying to tell everybody, do not accept a cashless society. Do not accept a cashless society. And the way to debate the government on this is pretend. Well, you don't have to pretend. I mean, be serious about it. I'm serious about it. The poor are going to be the first affected by this, man. I mean, I've got old ladies that come up to me at bars out here in San Antonio, Texas, with ice chests filled with tamales and tacos, okay? I'm not even joking. And people at bars, they're actually buying, these tacos and tamales from these old ladies at about 1 in the morning, 12:30 in the morning. And what are they paying? They're paying in cash. All right? And I'm pretty sure that old lady that's selling the damn tamales and the damn taco, she's probably having to do that to raise a damn family or to get medication or something. And that's the first person that's going to be affected, man. That's the first person that's going to be affected, man. Anyway, folks, Bitcoin price. I didn't mean to get off on this tirade about cashless societies, but we, as America, cannot allow that to happen. But once again, Taiwan, the latest country to make an attempt to outlaw cash. So that's going to provide Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency alternative. Bitcoin's price currently right now, folks, is $1,181 per Bitcoin. Let me tell you that one mo again, all right? Bitcoin is at $1,181 per Bitcoin. And that, my friends, is the markets for your ass, all right? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Anyway, look, now that we've gotten all that out of the way, folks, let's go ahead and get right to it. Let's go and lighten up the mood a little bit with some Twitter shout-outs. And for you folks that are unaware or just tuning into the broadcast, you can get yourself a Twitter shout-out live right here in the broadcast. All you have to do is retweet the first tweet on my Twitter account, and the tweet to retweet is True Capitalist Radio Live. Once again, the tweet to retweet is True Capitalist Radio Live. And when you tweet that, or you retweet that tweet, I'll give you a Twitter shout-out live right here on the broadcast right here and now. Hey, engineer, do we have any Twitter shout-outs to be had? All right, well, let's go ahead and get to some Twitter shout-outs right now. Anyway, we got the TCA news feed. How you doing, man? We've got, I'm not going to say that stupid name. We got political news, politics news. What's going on in politics news? We got Kingfish, Speed Mobile 91 in the house. We got Pure Juice, whatever the hell that means. The Booty Warrior, whatever the hell that means. We got Sergeant Yoda in the house. How you doing? The Neon Knight, Milo done goofed. Yeah, no kidding. We've got AL the Game Freak in the house. We've got, I'm not saying that disgusting. You guys are getting sick with these freaking names, man, all right? Anyway, we've got the Smiler in the house. What's going on? We've got Governor Wolf in the place, Omni Raider, Ghost and Milo. What the hell? Yeah, shut up, you stupid idiot. I mean, take about 10 steps away from my freaking butt crack with that talk. Good God. Anyway, we got Trump News in the house. We got OG Toru. What's going on, man? Who else do we have here? We got Ghost Wrestles Cans, whatever the hell that means, for Christ's sake. We got the 727 caller. We've got JewTube. Oh, man, come on. Why did you make me say that? Why did you troll terrorists make me... God damn it. Damn it. Why did you all make me say JewTube? Jesus Christ, man. Look, I didn't mean to say it. Look, I didn't mean to say it. They made me say it. I'm sorry. God damn you. Give me the mic. Jesus Christ, that's all I need from you bastards, man. That's all I need is for you idiots to be, reporting me to the ADL or some crap like I'm some anti-Semite. I didn't mean to say it, man. I didn't mean to say it. I did not mean to say YouTube. Although I have this song coming into my head every time whenever somebody says that term, YouTube, everybody's doing the YouTube. Anyway, look, you see where Jesus Christ. Damn it. You trolls are sinking me down to your level. You trolls are sinking me down to your level. God damn it. God damn it. This is what I get, though, man. This is what I get for, trying to make the show a little interactive out here. Just trying to make the show a little interactive. This is the kind of crap I get. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, ass cracks. I appreciate it. Jesus Christ, give me the mic. Give me the goddamn mic. Jesus Christ, man. We got the Green Leader, man. How you doing, Green Leader? We've got Sell Mr. Fortune cookie merch. Look, we're going to do that tomorrow, all right? All right, all you guys that want Optimism merch, Mr. Optimism merch, Mr. Fortune cookie merch, all right, tomorrow we'll put some out for you guys, all right? And once again, we're going to make a contest, all right? So all you Radio Graffiti peeps that want Radio Graffiti for like 30 or 40 minutes every goddamn day, you choose who it is you're backing. Who are you backing? Is it Optimism or is it Mr. Fortune cookie? Who are you backing? Who are you all backing?
Over 90% of all Fortune 500 companies share one thing in common. You can find a Veridesk on their desks. Here's why. Research says sitting is the new smoking. But people who stand more and sit less say their back feels better and that they're more productive. Veridesk is crafted to last a lifetime. It's height adjustable and there's no assembly. All the details are at Veridesk.com. VARIdesk.com. The original Veridesk. Join the movement.
And you better let me know before tomorrow because let me tell you something. I'll just assume the winner then. All right? How you like that? Anyway, we've got Copper Poop Tickler. Jesus Christ. We got Edgar Raines in the house. We got Pinhead Larry. We got Fidget My Midget. Jesus Christ, who else do we have here? Once again, retweet the first tweet on my Twitter account if you want a Twitter shout-out live right here on the broadcast right here and now, all right? Who else do we have here? We've got Take a Leak on CNN. Oh, man, come on! And look, I'm going to talk about that here in a minute, all right? This whole Project Veritas thing, I'm going to talk about it. We got the Brody Network in the house. Xbox is real work. Distilling Video 2 coming soon. What's up to distilling? We've got Boycott Richard Dawkins. Yeah, no kidding. Did y'all read that Richard Dawkins? I think we found an article from 2013. I believe it was out of Salon.com. Richard Dawkins, the intellectual atheist, was quoted in that particular article as saying that mild pedophilia is okay. Yeah. Mild pedophilia. God, this world is sick. This world is sick. Richard Dawkins, look it up for yourself. Put in Google Richard Dawkins mild pedophilia, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. Mr. Intellectual Atheist over here. What a joke. What an utter joke. Jesus Christ. That gives you a little bit of, wary viewpoint on atheists now, does it? Anyway, we've got Capitalist Kush in the house. What's going on to Capitalist Kush? We've got, I'm not going to say that disgusting name. I'm telling you, you guys are getting disgusting with these names. And if you're going to do that, then you can shove Twitter shout-outs right up your clogged-up poopers, all right? Jesus Christ. We got Combs done goofed. Come on, man. And for y'all folks that don't know, Alan Combs, the leftist commentator, died today. We don't really know why exactly he died. What's ironic, though, is that he died, and when he was announced dead, something or somebody tweeted an hour before his death announcement on his Twitter account. So that's interesting. Anyway, who else do we have here? We got Cook Better Egg Rolls, whatever the hell that means. We've got, I'm not saying this disgusting name, Ride Ghost YouTube. Ride Ghost YouTube. Are you implying something like, you want the tube steak boogie or something? Is that what you want? Huh? Are you implying you want the tube steak boogie? We're doing the tube steak boogie. Anyway, we've got Supa in the house. What's going on to Supa? We've got Blackjack. All right, whoever the hell that is. Once again, go ahead and retweet the first tweet on my Twitter account if you want a Twitter shout-out live right here on the broadcast right here and now. But before that, I'd like to announce that we are now in the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and once again, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started, I'd like for everybody to please spread it around like wildfire, and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it is blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That's blogtalkradio.com/ghost. And, of course, if you have not done so, please follow me on Twitter. The Twitter name to follow is PoliticsGhost. All one word, no underscores. PoliticsGhost is the name to follow. Now, I'm only going to take a few more of these Twitter shout-outs so we can get on with the broadcast here, all right? Jesus Christ. Anyway, give me my drink first before I get any more of these Twitter shout-outs. Give me my drink. Good God. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Anyway, we've got the Chicken Bone Sucker. We've got Texans or blowhards. Look, shut up about that. Don't kid around about that crap. Get off my damn lawn. Whatever the hell that's supposed to be. Just shut up, all right? Just shut up. We've got, I'm not going to say, you people are getting sick with these names, for Christ's sake. We've got Rock Ape in the house. We're going on to Rock Ape. We've got Alex Jones 1, Alan Combs 0. What the hell is that supposed to mean? People are stupid, man. Strictly Diesel, what's going on? We've got Short Bus Champion. Oh, gee, here we go with these short bus idiots. We got the Jizzmaster 3000. Who else do we have here, for Christ's sake? Hey, look, there's Blood Fart. What's going on to Blood Fart? And there's, oh, yes, I am the Whore Master. Oh, yes. There's the Whore Master. Who else do we have here? We've got the Green Bio. I think we already said the Green Bio. We've got Water Park in Oroville. Oh, jeez. You see what damn you, California. Oh, Jesus. Just shut up. Just shut up. You know what? That's it. You idiots are going to do that. You're going to make fun of all that California flooding, all that devastation, all those acts of God. Then why in the hell am I going to continue on Twitter shout-outing you pieces of crap? Why? Good God. You know what? I'm done. Give me this. I'm done with this crap, all right? This is why, and I say it, and I say it, and I'm going to continue to say it, This is why we don't have nice things in the world today. And I hope all you little troll terrorists and cyber vermin are so happy with yourselves. All right? I hope that you're so goddamn happy with yourselves, you stupid little milky-licking, nipple-clamp-loving, butt-plug-up-the-ass-looking, sphincter-fingering, cuckold connoisseur, chicken-eating, cardboard trash. Anyway, look. I'm not letting you idiots get to me today, all right? This is serious business, and we got to get down to serious business here, all right? Now, before I got sidelined by attempting to try to make the show a little interactive here, let's just go ahead and get right into the nitty-gritty of things because we have a lot of things to talk about today, all right? First thing I want to talk about is the President of the United States sending Rex Tillerson down there to Mexico in an attempt to try to either make or break a deal with the Mexican government. And, of course, the President commented on this trip by Rex Tillerson, the Secretary of State, calling it one tough trip. And I think the, quote, one tough trip is an understatement because these Mexicans out there in the Mexican government, I don't believe, know their ass from their elbow. I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, I think that if Mexico had any sense to themselves, they would have seized the opportunity in renegotiating an economic deal with the United States. So what if they had to pay some scholastic cost of a wall? All right? Who cares? But they could have used this opportunity to gain more as it pertains to more investment in Mexico, more American investment in Mexico, in exchange for more Mexican, American type of business, more even keel type trade, you know, those types of things. There could have been something negotiated from the Mexican government side for them to increase that already, what is it, $60 billion we send to them each year in trade? $60 billion we send down there, and that's not including all the illegal immigrants that are in this country making money illegally and sending it back down to Mexico, wire transfer. I mean, I'm telling you, and look, what I liked about the president today is when he talked about and made comments about Secretary of State Rex Tillerson going down to Mexico and potentially making a deal, Trump said, look, we may make a deal, we may not make a deal. We may have to walk away. We don't want to walk away, but we'll do it. And look, I don't blame him if he does, because I didn't like how the Mexican government was trying to act like a bunch of rubber tortilla-chewing, machismo ass clowns when they insisted that they were not going to pay for the wall. I mean, that's the least you could do, Mexico. Aside from actually taking U.S. companies and factories and putting them in Mexico, which is supplying your government and your economy flourishment. But at the same time there, Nieto, you have dumped 11 million of your own unwanted citizens on the United States. And I think that it's time for you to take care of them now that you have some industry and some economic productivity happening in your country there, Nieto. And Nieto is the president of Mexico, for you folks that don't know. But that's what I'm saying, folks. We need a deal with Mexico, and I hope that Mexico understands that they could be used in a trade war against China if they would take their heads out of their goddamn burrito-eating goddamn machismo asses. They could renegotiate a trade deal with the United States, I mean, incentivizing more investment into Mexico and into Mexico manufacturing. I mean, we could move the means of production that are in China at this current time, move a lot of those means of production into Mexico so that Mexico becomes the manufacturing base of the world. And all the cost that it takes to ship those Chinese goods in cargo ships to the ports of the United States, that cost will be cut, if not in half, at least down to a quarter, if not less. by allowing truckers and different people, trains and other modes of transportation to come into the United States from Mexico so that we can dispense and distribute those goods throughout the country. I mean, I don't understand why there's not a Mexican economic advisor talking about this, all right? I don't understand why there's not somebody in Mexico saying, look, this could work to our advantage here, all right? I mean, China has $550 billion of American money going into their country. Why can't we have some of that? I mean, right now, as it stands, I said this before, $60 billion of American money is going to the Mexican government. And, of course, I said it once again, that's not including the illegal immigrants that are working in this country illegally and wiring money down to Mexico. That's not including that. So why Mexico can't take its head out of its ass and start realizing that they could become a major player here, I have no idea. So I hope that Mexico, or at least somebody that's out there that's advising Nieto, can concoct a deal in that both countries can come out on top. I mean, even if Nieto has to pay for the wall, Nieto can go to his country and say, hey, look, even though I have to pay for this wall, I just tripled the amount of money coming into the country from the United States of America. It went from $60 to $180 billion of American investment, of American buying goods into Mexico. I mean, you don't think that the people would appreciate that, for heaven's sake? I mean, I hope somebody's listening in Mexico. Can you please forward this information to your president? He is in a key position to grow Mexico's economy. I mean, he's at the cusp, if he just make the right decision, that, hey, he could tell Mr. Trump, or President Trump, listen, I'm open to building the wall. I'm open to bringing these goddamn 11 million immigrants that we dumped off on you back. But we're going to need an economy, man. I mean, we're going to need some kind of economy, and we're going to need a little bit more trade than $60 billion. Now, I know that you and China are having a little bit of a trade dispute. I mean, why not take some of the money that you send to China and put it here in Mexico? Why don't you take some of the factories that you have there in China, put it in Mexico, and we can make some kind of a deal so that I can offset the cost that I'm going to be incurred bringing in these 11 million illegal immigrants that you have in your country back to my country. So that's why I'm saying, folks, when I heard President Nieto, just completely shut down talks with President Trump over the wall, I thought that was ridiculous. And I think that Mexico's economy right now would truly appreciate the extension of trade. And I'm talking beyond $60 billion. Like I said, why not triple that to $180 billion? You don't think that the Mexican economy would feel that? You don't think that the Mexican people would feel that? Of course they would. They're feeling the effects of $60 billion of American currency and of American money going down there to Mexico right now. So if you were to triple that, I mean, that would flourish Mexico, man. I mean, people wouldn't be going through Mexico to get into the United States. People would actually be breaking in from the southern border of Mexico to stay in Mexico. But, of course, that's assuming a lot from the Mexican government. That's assuming that these goddamn burrito eaters can stop with the machismo that is embedded within the Mexican culture and basically start thinking rationally. I think that may be asking too much of the Mexican people. I'm sorry. I'm not, look, I don't mean to be racist, all right? But I think that may be asking too much of the Mexican people, all right? Because, I mean, if you take a look at Mexicans' history, I'm talking Mexico, Mexicans from Mexico. If you take a look at their history, I'm not too sure if it's in their nature to even think rationally. All right, I mean, listen, this is a country that has 2 Independence Days, okay? I'm just saying. 2 Independence Days, all right? And one of their greatest leaders, what the hell is his name? Zapata, all right, which is an infamous Mexican revolutionary, was sold out by his own people. All right, so, I mean, you got to take that with a grain of salt. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, with all due respect to my Mexican brethren to the south, you need to start internalizing why exactly your country hasn't gone anywhere. It has nothing to do with anybody else but yourselves and your own contradictions and your own self-loathing. And, I mean, I can go on and on. Once you folks stop and drop that, and start negotiating like rational human beings, I honestly believe that Mexico could be a flourishing economy. But until you assholes that are out there in Mexico, stop chewing on the rubber tortilla and start realizing that, hey, look, we're in a position to actually make our economy better and make a better deal with America, then I don't know what the hell's going to happen with Mexico. I have no idea. I hope Rex Tillerson can talk some sense into these idiots. I don't know. And you know who else is with Rex Tillerson? General Kelly, the head of the Department of Homeland Security. So there's a lot of discussions being discussed. I could imagine this is a pretty big envoy being sent to Mexico. I hope that there's something that can come about, because if they can concoct some kind of a deal with Mexico, this would be a major blow to China. And I'm telling you, China would not like if some of the trade that is allocated to China was, for some reason, allocated to Mexico. They wouldn't like that, and I'm telling you, their economy would be majorly affected. All right, majorly affected. So anyway, let's continue going here, folks, all right? I mean, I just want to let everybody know that Rex Tillerson and an American convoy that is accompanying him is out there in Mexico trying to work out a deal and seeing what's going on. And once again, aside from trade, they're obviously discussing the 11 million people that are in this country illegally, potentially going back there. And I'm sure that Tillerson is using that as his ace card, because I can tell you that these Mexican people from Mexico do not want the immigrants that they dumped off on us. They do not want the immigrants that they dumped off on us. They couldn't feed them to begin with. They couldn't take care of them. That's why they came over here. So anyway, let me move on to another subject matter, folks, because we got a lot to talk about here. Let's keep the issue on immigration, folks, in the same breath as Donald Trump's comments in which he discussed Rex Tillerson, Secretary of State, going to Mexico, trying to work out some kind of a deal. Donald Trump called the recent immigration raids that have been happening all over the country a, quote, military operation. I mean, whoa. I mean, that's serious business, baby. And look, you know, you folks that are out here pissing and moaning about these immigration raids, you have nobody to blame but yourself, all right? I mean, I thought that Donald Trump was making nice and just making an executive order to provide immigration reform to halt, a travel ban from a list of countries that Obama made. The list of countries that Obama made to prevent those folks from coming into this country until we get an extreme vetting system to properly vet these people. But no, of course, liberals found an opportunity to virtue signal. Liberals found an opportunity to show themselves off on a camera and show how virtuous they are and how they have the moral high ground because, we shouldn't ban Muslims. We should have open borders. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, give me a break. But no, you all want to, push forth judicial lawsuits to try to stop what, under the Constitution, President Trump has the authority to do. And because we have liberal assholes who have infiltrated the judicial system, they're legislating from the bench. So, okay, Donald Trump says, okay, you want to legislate from the bench? You want to sit here and try to make things harder for me? Well, then I'm going full throttle. So what he's doing, folks, is he's basically allowing immigration, ICE officials, Border Patrol agents to do their jobs and what they should have been doing for the past 8 years, but were told not to do by Barack Obama. And now they're going around and they're rounding up a lot of these individuals that are here illegally, that have a high propensity for crime or are already outstanding criminals, have ties to terrorism, or outright bad hombres, if I can't use the terminology of my president himself. We got to get rid of these bad hombres that are out here, man. There's a lot of bad hombres out here. We got to get them out. We got to get them the hell out. And I like this aggressive tone that the president is using as it pertains to this immigration policy. Because I don't understand why these liberals are making much to do about nothing as it relates to this issue. Many of these people aren't even affected by this issue, but they, of course, liberals, they cannot resist themselves on finding an issue that they can virtue signal, and they can go out and have a camera in their face and yell and show as if they have the moral high ground. They love it. So once again, folks, the president comes out today in the same remarks in which he announces the Rex Tillerson trip to Mexico, calling it one tough trip. In the same conference, he comes out and basically makes the comment that the recent immigration raids all over the country is a, quote, military operation, and it is. It is a military operation. We got to get people out of here that don't belong here. All right? I mean, listen to me. I know that it's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings and that sort of thing, but, folks, you couldn't do this anywhere else in the world. You can't break into a country. Well, I guess now in Canada you can, thanks to cuckold connoisseurs of cuckold connoisseurs, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada. He's allowing people to just go ahead and break into his country. He's already said, come on down. All you illegal immigrants, come on down illegally. We'll accept you. We won't deport you. So everybody's heading up to Canada. But you know what's funny, folks? If you happen to be an American citizen and you try to go into Canada just to visit legally, visit Canada, you can't go into Canada if you happen to have a DUI or some crap. I'm not even joking around. I've heard countless stories of everyday American citizens being denied entry into goddamn Canada, of all places, because they had a DUI on their record. I mean, and yet you've got Trudeau saying, hey, illegal immigrants, come on down. Come on in to the leaf of leaf places where we hump dead mooses. Jesus Christ. I mean, what a bunch of hypocrisy, these goddamn liberals. I'm telling you, they make me sick. But, hey, Trudeau, you want these people? You can have them. All right? And by the way, Canada, I think that Justin Trudeau is doing the same thing what Obama did to America to your country. I mean, I hate to go off on this tirade about Canada, but remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, that was a very flourishing part in America, or I should say in Canadian history. I mean, you had billionaires created during that time frame. Kevin O'Leary, Robert Herjavec. I mean, there was a whole group of billionaires that were created during that time. And then for whatever reason, because of prosperity, you Canadian cuckold connoisseurs decided to go ahead and vote in the cuckold offspring of goddamn Fidel Castro in Justin Trudeau. And you know what Justin Trudeau did right when he took office, folks? You know, Canada had a great gold reserve. Had a nice, great gold reserve. And you know what Justin Trudeau did? Sold it all. Sold it all to China, sold it all to anybody who wanted to buy it. Why did he sell it, folks? Because he wants to take care of all these immigrants that are now coming into Canada illegally. And why does he want those why does he want those illegal immigrants to go into Canada? The same reason the EU brought the migrant crisis to Europe, so that it can dilute the culture of Canada, much like it has diluted the cultures of Europe. And now, folks, and I said this yesterday, the German leftists are now calling for the immigrants in Germany for the right to vote. They want migrants in Germany to have the right to vote. I mean, this is insane. But I told you, folks, that this was happening.
Calling the beautifully redesigned 2017 Mercedes-Benz CLA simply a four-door coupe is like describing a world-class athlete as just a good runner. With its sleek profile and powerful turbocharged engine, the CLA offers agility and design that are unmatched in its class, and it's available now at an exceptional price. Why drive any four-door coupe when you could be driving the 2017 Mercedes-Benz CLA? Visit mbusa.com/CLA to learn more. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
I told you that this was the prime objective of the leftist. I told you this right when I came back on this broadcast, that the fundamental objective of the migrant crisis was not only to dilute the cultures of Europe, the cultures of Canada and America, but to also bring in a whole new voting base of people. A whole new voting base of people that will supersede the original citizens of that country. This is a classic agitation method. This is a classic takeover method by the communists. And that's what's happening, folks. That's what's happening right now. So once again, I applaud the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, on calling the recent immigration raids a military operation, because that's exactly what it is, folks. It's a military operation. And the reason is because these immigrants, whether they're innocent of this or not, because a lot of these folks, unfortunately, are just wandering around, not knowing what to do, trying to look for some kind of an opportunity, whatever. But they are now being used as a weapon. Immigrants, refugees, they are now being used as a weapon of sabotage of nation states by the globalists. And I don't know how much more evidence you have to see before you understand this, that immigrants, migrants are being used as a method of sabotage by the globalists. Look at Europe. Look at Canada. Look at what's happening to America. Wake up. Wake up. This immigrant-migrant situation is being used to sabotage the nation state. That's why he said yesterday, and I will continue to say it, what we are witnessing on a global scale right before our very eyes is much like what we saw during the American Civil War. In the American Civil War, it was the Federalist versus states' rights. And in this new global war that we are witnessing, it's the globalists versus the nation states. The globalists versus the nation states. We are witnessing it firsthand. And the globalists aren't going to confront us with a full-fledged conventional army. They're going to use every method of agitation, every method of warfare necessary to break us down. That's why when Trump says that this recent immigration raid, or these raids all over the country, is a military operation, that's exactly that. It's a military operation. We're trying to preserve some level of Americana again, some level of Americanism. I mean, whatever happened to that? I mean, I hate to quote Superman time and time again, but whatever happened to truth, justice, and the American way? Whatever happened to that, man? That's why Donald Trump is taking all these issues that he has discussed in his campaign, that he's discussed as president, very serious, and that's why I'm taking this show very serious. And as I stated, folks, after this Sunday, we are going to have a media outlet, like a small media operation, in which we are going to provide original content that is capitalist news and politics in nature, so we can basically project what real news is instead of having all these slanted, idiotic perceptions of whatever the hell news is today. So that's why I'm saying, in my personal opinion, folks, we have to get serious. If we don't get serious, then we lose. If we don't get serious, we lose. Anyway, once again, folks, Donald Trump calls the recent immigration raids happening across America a military operation, and by God, it is just that, a military operation. Anyway, let me move on to the next issue, folks. Let's talk a little bit about CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference that's currently happening as we speak. Today, we had all kinds of panels, all kinds of speakers. But one of the speaker panels that was very interesting to watch today was Stephen Bannon on the same stage as Reince Priebus. Now, of course, this may be a political posture. I personally believe that Bannon and Reince Priebus are playing politics. I do not believe that they are on the same page policy-wise. They are just trying to play the game of political science with one another. This is how politics works. You have to, make some kind of deals with the enemy, especially when you're on the same team. So I think that Steve Bannon and Reince Priebus came out today at CPAC in an attempt to show a certain level of solidarity and unity amongst the Trump administration. But I personally don't believe that they're on the same page, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, one thing I do want to talk about as it pertains to Steve Bannon and one of the comments he made today, which I thought was not just invigorating but inspiring, he calls out the media. He calls out the media as the enemy, and he calls out the media as a corporatist, globalist media. And listen, I don't even want to try to rephrase the words he used when discussing the media. So what I'm going to have the engineer cue up the small portion in which I'd like everybody to hear, because once again, this is National Security Advisor, actually Chief National Security Advisor, Steve Bannon on the media. And let me tell you, when you listen to his words, I mean, this is very serious. That's why I keep telling you, this whole campaign and this presidency is serious business. Stephen Bannon is not naive to the fact that the mainstream media is the enemy of Trump, that the political establishment is an enemy of Trump, that the globalists are an enemy of Trump. So without any further ado, do you got that clip, engineer? All right, folks. Well, this is Stephen Bannon. And he's going to explain not just how the media is a corporate globalist shill, but at the same time how we're going to continue to see the attacks on Trump. And look, folks, I've been telling you this time and time again. You can't open up a browser or you can't open up a news source without seeing negative after negative after negative hit pieces on Donald Trump. I mean, you can't turn on the boob tube without seeing negative after negative pieces on Donald Trump. And Steve Bannon explains why fake news media will continue to attack President Trump. Now, I hope, do you have that queued up, engineer? All right, he's got it queued up. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and listen. This is Steve Bannon at CPAC calling out the mainstream media. Go ahead, engineer.
Our good partners is that we can disagree. It's not only not going to get better, it's going to get worse every day in the media. And here's why. By the way, the internal logic makes sense. They're corporatist, globalist media that are adamantly opposed to an economic nationalist agenda like Donald Trump has. President Trump really laid this out, as Ryan said, many years ago at CPAC. It's really CPAC that really originally gave him the springboard. It's the first time at Breitbart we started seeing him and saw how people, his speeches resonated with people. And then he would go out to these smaller town halls later, and really he got traction with the same message he's bringing today. Here's why it's going to get worse, because he's going to continue to press his agenda. And as economic conditions get better, as more jobs get better, they're going to continue to fight. If you think they're going to give you your country back without a fight, you are sadly mistaken. Every day it is going to be a fight, and that is what I'm proudest about Donald Trump. All the opportunities he had to waver off this, all the people have come to him and said, oh, you got to moderate. Every day in the Oval Office, he tells Reince and I committed this to the American people, I promised this when I ran, and I'm going to deliver on this.
Yeah, did you hear that right there? I mean, you can't get any more reassurance than that. And, you know, in that comment by Steve Bannon, it says to me that not only does Steve Bannon understand, but Donald Trump understands what he's up against. And it's a breath of fresh air to hear Steve Bannon talk about the globalist media and how the reason the globalists don't want Donald Trump to succeed is because of his nationalist economic agenda. And what does that mean, a nationalist economic agenda? It means America first. It means bringing back jobs to America. It means bringing back the GDP levels up above 4% once again. It's about providing economic opportunity for all Americans, not handouts, economic opportunity. So once again, it is a reassurance to hear Stephen Bannon discuss the globalist corporatist media. And I love that he used the word globalist because, folks, I used to use the word international bureaucratic institutions. And the reason I used to use those words is because globalism and the term globalist was always synonymous with the idea of conspiracy. As a matter of fact, up until about 3 years ago, anyone who utilized the terminology globalist or believed that there was a globalist agenda was a conspiracy theorist. Now the same publications that called those touting globalist and globalism conspiracy theorists are now embracing the idea. They're embracing the idea. They're out in the open about it. They're out in the open about globalism. And another reassuring thing about Bannon is that he understands that this is going to be a battle. Unlike the cult of personality alt-right jagoffs who are basically utilizing their post-campaign fame to fatten their pockets and to throw egg on the face of Donald Trump, it's reassuring to know that Donald Trump and Steve Bannon understands the opposition that's up ahead. And it's reassuring to hear Bannon say, look, they're going to continue. It's going to get harder. If you think that these people are going to give you your country back, you've got another thing coming. And he's exactly right. That's why I continue to call on each and every one of you every single day I broadcast that you have to be politically responsible. You have to be politically serious. This government was made for the people and by the people, but if the people fall asleep at the wheel, we are looking at the consequence of those very actions. That's why Donald Trump is elected president. That's why he's trying to fix the problems. That's why he's turning his economic policy into a more nationalist objective. Good God. I mean, I'm serious, for Christ's sake, man. I'm serious. Anyway, folks, once again, I think that those words by Bannon, I hope that it hits you in the serious craw, and I hope that it inspires you to realize that you just can't sit on your thumbs and think that the Washington, D.C. establishment is going to fulfill Trump's campaign promises. I mean, lest we forget, folks, lest we forget, this is a Republican-dominated government. They should have already passed something by now, but they're sitting on their thumbs. Why? Because much as Bannon just said in that clip, this is a globalist agenda, and if you think the globalists are just going to give you your government back, you've got another thing coming. They expect you to go to sleep. They expect you to be lulled into something else. You can't afford to do it. Every American is responsible for their political obligation. And that's why I'm telling each and every one of you, it's time for you all to get political and start getting political quick. It's time for you all to in whatever means. And I'm imploring you, please, please go get a goddamn social media accounts on all social medias. All right? And it doesn't matter if you're followed by 10 people or 100,000 people. It doesn't matter. We need you to disseminate the information that discredits the lamestream media, that exposes the lies of the lamestream media. Folks, we need each and every one of you to do so. Whenever yours truly tweets out a news article, please retweet it. All right? You can't imagine how important it is for you folks to retweet the articles that I post up. Because, folks, individuals, especially on Twitter, a lot of them don't even read the actual article. So if they just read the headline and they read my tweet or my comments on that particular headline, it'll give them a certain idea, a perception of what exactly is being said, and give them a whole new perception or a whole new way of looking at a given issue. Because there's so many issues coming at everybody. There's so many goddamn issues coming at everybody, and that's why yours truly has proposed that we should just get rid of the idea of the alt-right. The capitalist army and this show has renounced and denounced any kind of affiliation with the alt-right. As far as I'm concerned, all these alt-right personalities have let us all down. They have basically shown themselves to be nothing more than cult of personalities that are no different than those on the left, and they could care less about the Trump presidency at this point. All they care about is making sure their faces are in the media, making sure that they're causing a ruckus, making sure that they're selling books, make sure that they're selling out. And that's why, folks, in my personal opinion, we need to establish a new right. And I proposed this yesterday, the capitalist right, or the cap right, which folks are now starting to take as an acronym. The cap right, capitalist right. And what is the capitalist right? What we are trying to do is organize everybody on the right wing of the political spectrum under a very simple umbrella. Because as I've stated, folks, Joe Sixpack doesn't really understand the complexities and the nuances of politics. And that has been the ease in which the Democrats and the leftists have been able to lure Joe Sixpack into believing that their side is more virtuous, that their side is somehow more compassionate, their side gives more empathy. That's why I am proposing that everybody join the new right, the capitalist right. The three adherents of the capitalist right is nothing more than capitalism, liberty, and nationalism. 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 And the beautiful part about the capitalist right is that we embrace difference. I mean, that's the fundamental idea of individualism, isn't it? Difference. It doesn't make us wrong. It doesn't make us right. It doesn't make us ugly. It doesn't make us pretty. It makes us different. I mean, who cares what sexuality you are? Who cares what race you are? Who cares what culture you are? Who cares what size you are? Who cares who you are? As long as you understand that you're different and that you not only try to be different for a shock value, you are different because you stand by your individuality. You stand by your individualism. You see, folks, if you try to go and show your individuality to the left today, you will be beat up. You will be shunned. You will be shamed. You will be chastised, if not worse. The leftist ideology in today's America equals conformity. I mean, you've got Antifa, which is short for anti-fascism. this leftist movement that is trying to act as a militant representation of the left. They're all conformists. They're all trying to say the same things. They're all trying to look the same way. They're trying to act in conjunction with one another in the same way. That's fascism. That's fascism. When you want everybody to do what you're doing, when you want everybody to say what you're saying, when you want everybody to dress how you dress, that's fascism, Antifa, you dumb idiots. And that's why I'm telling everybody right now, the capitalist right, that's all it is. Capitalism, liberty, and nationalism. And embracing difference. And embracing difference doesn't mean that you have to like that person or that you have to like the way they live. You just have to accept that they're there, and if you don't want to talk to them and you don't want to affiliate with them, then don't do it. But you don't have to agitate these people. You don't have to make these people's lives a living hell if they're obliging the tenets that you oblige. If they oblige capitalism, if they oblige liberty, if they oblige nationalism, you should embrace their difference even if you don't like it. Even if you don't like it. The right wing of the political spectrum is now the counterculture, folks. We're now the ones who embrace the freedom of speech. We're now the ones who embrace difference. We're the ones that want to focus on the individual. We're the ones that want liberty and freedom. And let me tell you something else. Capitalism is the ultimate freedom, liberating economic idea. It is through capitalism that one can liberate themselves completely of the bondage of earning a living. And let me explain something to you, folks. This is why leftists hate capitalists. Leftists hate capitalists because leftists can't and won't do what capitalists do in order to earn a living. Leftists, instead of trying to go out and make things happen for themselves, leftists just sit and wait for things to happen to them. And while those of us that are out there that are capitalists going out there making things happen, you've got loser leftists who are going to sit there and point the finger at capitalists saying, "Oh, you're a greedy bastard. Oh, it's not fair that you have all that. Oh, you need to pay for some of my rent. You need to pay for my food." I mean, this is all it comes down to, folks. The leftists and those who hate capitalists are, for a lack of a better term, folks, lazy, unappreciative pieces of waste of human life. Because capitalism provides the economic opportunity for all to carve out their own destiny. All you have to do is have ambition, have economic prowess, have creativity, innovation, and you can be able to carve out your own destiny as you see it. Not as some Politburo sees it, not as some bureaucrat in some communist government sees it, not as some bureaucrat in some socialist government sees it. It's how you see it. And that's why capitalism is the first tenet of the capitalist right, because capitalism is the ultimate equalizer of equality. You dumbasses over there on the left, y'all talk about equal this, equal that, equal this, equal that. Hey, equal opportunity for all in economics is what capitalism emphasizes. And that's why Donald Trump, folks, wants to put a point of emphasis on national economics. We want economic opportunity for all in America, for those who want to seek it. And as I stated, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be wealthy to be rich. You don't have to have the big house. You don't have to have the badass car. You don't have to do all these big, huge, millionaire-type materialistic antics to be rich. All you've got to do as a capitalist is suffice whatever it is that you are content with and be able to sustain your contentment for at least 5 to 10 years. Because in between those 5 to 10 years, hopefully you're planning for the next 5 to 10 years. And that's why I always tell each and every one of you, do not graduate into a socioeconomic strata that you cannot afford for a long-term basis. Because as I stated, there's nothing worse in the world than having money and losing it than never having it at all. It is a worse feeling when you've had money and lost it all as opposed to never having money at all. So that's why I tell everybody, being a capitalist doesn't mean that you have to be some rich, wealthy person, millions of dollars, big-time mansion. That's not capitalism. Capitalism is doing what you want after you make your living, after you work your job, after you work your business, after whatever it is that you do to maintain your means of income. Once you get off work, you have the freedom to carve out whatever destiny that you want. I've got an inner circle member by the name of Distilling Capitalist. He's out of Australia, okay? This is a chap that works 3 different jobs, okay? 3 different jobs, and the reason that he works 3 different jobs is because he's carving out the life that he wants. And if you take a look at some of his videos, and I'll retweet them later on this evening, this guy's doing whatever he wants to do. He's at the beach whenever his days off are, going fishing in a beach out there off the coast of Australia, literally living the life, eating humongous steaks, having the best libations, kicking back in his hot tub, taking trips all over Australia, living the life, baby. Living the life. And he's rich as far as I'm concerned. You know, every time he takes a picture, he's got this huge smile on his face. That's rich. Every time he's out and about, you know, having a good time, hanging out with his mates, you know, going out. I mean, he's a big, huge smile. That's rich, man. That's what capitalism is all about. When you can live and you can be waking up every single day, and even though you may not like going to work, even though you may not like your job, you know that the reason you're going out there and busting your ass is so that you can carve out the life that you want. And look, I don't mean to single out Distilling Capitalist, but I mean, he's a chap that I really appreciate. He's a Capitalist Army member, Inner Circle member, and I mean, every time he posts, he has his own channel. He posts videos. He posts pictures of himself. Always a big smile. Always living lavish. I mean, he is truly living the capitalist life. And it's not as if he's a very, very, very wealthy man. He's not an impoverished individual either. He's rich. He can sustain his lifestyle for the next 5 to 10 years. He's rich. So that's why I'm telling you, folks, capitalism is not about going out and getting big mansions and getting badass cars. It's about carving out whatever life you want to live. But no one's going to give that to you, man. And, you know, me and Distilling, we've had conversations about this. It's what he told me. He said, no, nobody's going to give it to me, mate. No one's going to give me this goddamn life. I got to go out and I got to go and create it. I got to carve out my own life. I got to do what I want to do, and the only person that's going to do it for me is me. So anyway, look, I didn't mean to get off on that tirade, folks, but I think people have a very skewed misconception of what capitalism is. Capitalism is the ability to be able to create your own life. You can't create your own life in socialism. You can't create your own life in communism. You couldn't create your own life in feudalism. Capitalism has brought more to mankind than any economic system that has ever crossed or glanced the face of the earth. Anyway, folks, I didn't mean to get off on that tirade. Once again, we need to start rising from the ashes of the alt-right and start promoting the capitalist right. Because, in essence, the capitalist right is a simple unification method to be able to organize the right against those that are trying to stop the agenda of Trump and the right-wing political spectrum. And it's acceptance of everybody. Now, when I mean that we accept difference, it doesn't mean that you have to like these people. It doesn't mean that you got to bring them in and serve them dinner and crumpets, okay? It just means that, hey, that person over there, even though I personally don't agree with what they're doing, even though I personally don't like the way they're dressing, even though I personally don't like the way they're acting, they're down with the capitalist right, and as long as they understand capitalism, liberty, and nationalism, well, then they're okay with me when the revolution comes. I know at least they'll be on my side. I mean, do you understand? I mean, you have to have a certain level of compromise out here because we are in a state of America in which the left has degraded morality to the point where the last moral line in the sand in today's America is pedophilia, for Christ's sake. The last moral line in the sand in this moralist society is whether you believe pedophiles should be executed or should be condoned. That's just the way it is, folks. That's just the way it is. Anyway, folks, let me move on here to another subject matter. I didn't mean to get off keister and start talking about all, these subject matters, folks, but I want to get it across to you that being a capitalist doesn't mean that you are supposed to have the fast cars and the badass freaking houses and the most beautiful bimbos and all this other crap. Capitalism is your ability to be able to earn enough money to be able to carve out the life that makes you feel that your life every day you wake up is worth living. Every day you wake up, you smile, and you're like, all right, we're going and doing this today because I can do it, because I want to do it, because I worked hard enough to do it. And that's why I try to go off on that tirade. So without any further ado, let's continue on with the broadcast before I get a little long-winded on anything else. Like I said, once again, Steve Bannon, Reince Priebus show unity at CPAC. Once again, I aired the comments by Steve Bannon as it pertains to the globalist, corporatist media and how he told everybody at CPAC to expect the hit pieces by the media to continue to come and continue to get worse. Continue to get worse. Because as he put it, do you think these people are going to give you your country back voluntarily? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Anyway, folks.
Hi, I'm a helpful Southern California Honda person, and recently we've been doing random acts of helpfulness. Like decorating a children's hospital, helping a mom get a tutor for her son, and even replacing stolen tools from a car break-in. And right now, during the Honda Dream Garage sales event, we can help you too with a great deal on an award-winning Honda. Like the Accord, a 2017 Car and Driver 10 Best a record 31 times. Click the dealer locator link to find a dealer near you, and go to SoCalHondaDealers.com to suggest a random act of helpfulness for someone you know. Car and Driver, January 2017.
Let me continue on. We've got, time's running out for Christ's sake, and we got to get through these other subject matters here. Let's move on. The Trump administration, folks, has revoked federal guidelines on transgendered students in schools, folks. Now, for you folks that are unaware, remember Barack Obama decided to use last year this North Carolina state initiative defining what should or should not go into bathrooms. And they just said, if you happen to be a male, you need to go into the male's bathroom. If you happen to be a female, you need to go in the female's bathroom. And, of course, folks, somebody had to take this to court. All these, circuit courts, this and that, they overruled the laws in North Carolina. And as a result, the president decided that he was going to make an executive order basically giving federal guidelines on transgendered students' rights. Now, I want to make a little bit of a comment about this because I happen to be a little privy to, the transgendered community, given the fact that we have a variety of different transgenders in the capitalist army and in the inner circle itself. I personally believe that this issue is nothing more than a wedge issue being utilized by individuals who aren't even truly transgendered. Because in my view, if you were a true transgendered, male to female transgendered, you typically don't want to be clocked as a male. So what you're going to do is you're going to do everything within your power, exercise, makeup, wigs, whatever, all right, to try not to be clocked as a man. Because inevitably, folks, transgendered people really don't like gay people. They don't want a gay man, all right? I mean, and I've talked to transgenders about this. They don't want a gay male. They actually want a straight male, and the reason is, folks, is because they want a monogamous relationship. They want to be a woman. They want to be taken care of like a woman. I mean, these are transgendered. I'm talking true transgenders, like people that live as women 24 hours a day. Now, with that being said, I don't think that these folks have too much of a problem going into a woman's bathroom if nature calls, okay? I don't think anybody's stopping them at the door saying, hey, wait a minute. All right, let me check. Let me get a nut check. Let me get a nut check here. Nobody's saying that, all right? Nobody's saying that. You know what this comes down to, folks, and I'm going to be honest with you. Take a look at the people that are pushing forth this lawsuit so that they can continue with this bathroom issue, okay? Let me explain. The people that are actually going and are actually initiating these lawsuits are bull dykes. Bull dykes. And what I mean by bull dykes, I'm talking about women that think that they're men, and really all they are is just a bunch of bloated fat chicks that are purposely trying to look uglier so that they can claim that they're males. I mean, I have never seen, unfortunately, a passable bull dyke, all right? I have never seen a passable bull dyke. Well, with that being said, okay, let's just go ahead and take this a little further. It's nothing but bull dykes that are initiating these lawsuits against states as it pertains to the bathroom issue. Now, what I don't get is this. If you're a bull dyke, why exactly would you want to go into the male's bathroom anyway? I mean, you're a bull dyke. I mean, wouldn't you want to be in the woman's bathroom? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, aren't you literally 2 inches away from poontang, literally, if you're hanging out in a woman's bathroom? I mean, I don't understand this. I mean, and listen, I know this is probably sounding a little bizarre to you folks, but I'm serious. Why would a bull-nosed bull dyke, a bull-nosed greasy bull dyke want to be in the same bathroom as a man when she is sexually attracted to women and literally can go legally into a woman's bathroom and sit there and watch women drop trow and whatever? I don't know. I'm just saying that the lawsuit being put forth by these bull dykes as it relates to this so-called trans rights issue as it pertains to this bathroom is a bunch of crap, all right? It's a bunch of crap. So that's why I'm saying, folks, I mean, I don't believe that this transgendered bathroom issue really, I don't think transgenders really give a crap. And if transgenders do, they've been goofed by the LGBT movement. And look, you trannies, you need to start realizing that the reason that you're at the end of LGBT is because that's what the LGBT thinks of you. You're on the back of the bus. And the only time that they ever put you at the front of the bus is whenever these types of ridiculous issues come about that have nothing to do with the strife of transgenders in this country. All right? transgenders in this country are suffering from far worse problems than worrying about going into a woman's bathroom, okay? I mean, you need to look at the high amounts of suicides within the transgendered community. You need to look at the high rates of rapes. Believe it or not, there is a high rate of rapings of transgenders in society. I mean, I can go on and on about this. I mean, if you want to talk about serious issues that affect transgenders, the bathroom issue is not an issue at all. And if it is an issue and you happen to be a transgender, well, then step your tranny game up, all right? It's obvious you're not passable, so step your tranny game up and look like a goddamn chick, you stupid lazy tranny. Anyway, we are now in the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like for everybody to please spread it around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it is blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That's blogtalkradio.com/ghost. And, of course, if you have not done so, please follow me on Twitter. The Twitter name to follow is PoliticsGhost. All one word, no underscores, PoliticsGhost. You understand what I'm saying, folks? All right? Anyway, folks, once again, this transgendered bathroom issue is not something that is truly affecting transgendered people. The gays and the lesbians and the LGBT establishment are utilizing this as an issue to focus the attention of leftism and those that are in the community in another direction. And I think that trannies that are truly passable do not have trouble going into whatever bathroom they want to go into. And once again, if you're one of these people that are having trouble going into the bathroom that you want to, that means, all right, that you aren't passable, all right, and you need to possibly not be a woman. All right, that's all I'm saying. I mean, the whole reason why you would want to become a tranny is because you want to be a woman. Am I correct? I'm just saying. Anyway, folks, let's move on to another subject matter because I don't want to put too much emphasis on this issue. I don't think it's a huge issue. As a matter of fact, that's why the Trump administration revoked the federal guidelines on transgendered students' rights and leaves it up to the states and schools. So it's not as if, if any state wants to be some virtue signaler as it pertains to this issue, they can do so. And that's all there is to it, all right? I mean, they can do so, and that's all there is to it. So anyway, let's move on from that issue because I don't really want to take too much time on that. Once again, Donald Trump revokes the federal guidelines that was passed by Barack Obama on transgendered students' rights, which is no more than just telling them that they can go to whatever bathroom they want, which is ridiculous, all right? Anyway, let's move on to another subject matter because we are running out of time. Did you all hear former Speaker of the House John Boehner? Excuse me. Y'all hear this guy here today? He's claiming, and remember, this is a former Speaker of the House. This is a guy who is still attached to the Republican establishment, John Boehner. Y'all remember this guy, right? I mean, this guy like at least tans about 10 times a day in a tanning booth or some crap, I mean, he smokes about 10 packs of cigarettes a day or some crap. That's why he talks like,
I am John Boehner, and,
you know what I'm saying? Anyway, former Speaker of the House, John Boehner, is claiming that the Republicans will not repeal or replace Obamacare. Oh, man. Oh, this is great, isn't it? Oh, my God. This is just great. This is an establishment Republican idiot basically telling the media that the Republicans won't repeal or replace Obamacare. Why? Why? Why are they sitting on their thumbs relating to this particular situation? Let me explain why, folks, all right? Obamacare, and I've said this time and time before, is a method of economic sabotage that was put forth by the Obama administration. One factor is that Obamacare forces employers to purchase health insurance for their employees. The problem is that the amount of money that it costs per month to buy an employee's health insurance at times supersedes the amount of money that it costs for their actual labor. So it's not economically viable for an employer to purchase health insurance for their full-time employees. So as a result, that's why we don't have full-time work anymore, folks. That's why whenever you go out for a job, all you can find is part-time jobs, because that's the loophole that prevents the employer, that prevents them from purchasing your health care. So once again, we have House Speaker John Boehner, claiming the Republicans will not repeal and replace Obamacare. Folks, this is why I keep telling you, we have to hold these Republicans' feet to the fire. If we sit on our own thumbs and do nothing, much like what Stephen Bannon said at CPAC, these folks aren't going to give us our country back. We've got to continue to put the pressure on them. We've got to continue to show them that we, the American people, are not going to stop. This is our government. Especially if you're a capitalist. Especially if you're somebody who makes money and pays taxes. That's why I'm putting a point of emphasis on the capitalist right. Because the capitalist right should have more of a say-so, in my opinion, than anybody else. Because, folks, if you're a capitalist, if you're an individual who works or has a business or maintains an income and you pay taxes, by God, your voice should be heard a little bit louder than everybody else's. That's why I keep saying, us capitalists, these people in Washington, they belong to us. We own these little people in Washington. They're ours. They belong to us. They get paid on our tax dollars. They get benefits off our tax dollars. And, folks, they allow others to fleece off of our tax dollars. By God, we, the capitalist right, have to hold these people's feet to the fire, because they're not doing a damn thing, folks. This is a government, folks, that is dominated by the Republican Party, and we should have initial legislation passed, and we should have it passed quick. Now, the second part of sabotage as it pertains to Obamacare is the 40-plus million people that weren't covered by insurance previous to Obamacare that are now covered. Now, you see, this was purposely done by the Obama administration to make any potential revoking of the Obamacare bill look like heartless demons. Because, you see, what's going to happen here, folks, is 40 million people that are now covered, these are people that are old, sick, and have pre-existing conditions. Now, that was the basis on the reasoning why Obamacare was so integral, supposedly, and so important, supposedly, to pass. Now, how are those people getting insured? Unfortunately, the young, healthy people who are working, who don't even have economic opportunity in today's workforce anyway, they are the ones that are now being forced to pay higher premiums and higher monthly bills for health insurance, because they are the ones offsetting the costs for the sick, the old, and the pre-existing condition, folks. All right? I mean, that's literally the whole scheme of Obamacare, is that young, healthy, hardworking people are literally subsidizing the old, the sick, and the pre-existing condition, folks. So, inevitably, if Obamacare was repealed, you are literally going to drop insurance from the old, the sick, and the pre-existing condition. And you see, folks, that is going to make the Republicans look like heartless demons, and that's what the Democrats are waiting for, all right? I mean, that's what the Democrats are waiting for. That's why they're just sitting back waiting. And you see, I don't understand why the Republicans aren't doing something, writing up some brand of legislation to offset this. I mean, they're in charge. They're in power. How come they can't solve this problem? And you see, folks, the reason is because they're afraid of what's going to happen politically. I'm telling you, Obamacare was another form of sabotage on the American people and on the country of America by Obama. So once again, folks, John Boehner claims that the Republicans won't repeal or replace Obamacare, and that cannot be a fact of reality, because that's what's going to help boost our economy, folks. If we repeal and replace Obamacare, if we lift the mandate of health insurance on American people, then people will be able to work again. People will be able to work 40 hours plus again. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that miss overtime. I used to know people they used to live on overtime, man. They used to pay their bills with their 40-hour work week and would literally live on the overtime, buy things for their own leisure, going out to the bar, going out to a restaurant, going out to a movie. I mean, they paid for these things with their overtime. There ain't no overtime anymore. And it's because of the sabotage of Obamacare. Obamacare is prohibiting people from hiring at a full-time capacity. It's economic sabotage, man. So anyway, I hope John Boehner and his claims that the Republicans won't repeal and replace Obamacare are unfounded. But, folks, they haven't done anything up to this point. All right, they haven't done anything up to this point. And once again, those of us on the right wing of the political spectrum have to hold these idiots' feet to the fire. If we don't, nobody else will. Nobody else will, folks. So once again, we have to make sure that Obamacare is repealed. And I don't know about replaced. I think that it just should be repealed, and we'll figure it out on our own. Why we are purchasing health insurance on the patient side and being forced to do so by the federal government is a freaking, I mean, it's not only unconstitutional, it's a tragedy. Because I say this time and time again, why isn't health insurance just completely privatized? Why can't practitioners just open up their own practices and charge their own prices? I mean, why is it that we have to have health insurance to begin with? And, folks, I know people are saying, Ghost, come on, we need health insurance. We wouldn't be able to afford our health care. Oh, yeah? Why don't you tell that to all the people that are making millions of dollars in the plastic surgery industry, or the cosmetic surgery industry, I should say? Why don't you tell all those folks? And not to mention, not only has the cosmetic surgery industry been a private industry for a long period of time, but because the supply and demand factor of cosmetic surgery has been in demand for the past 30 years, the evolution of cosmetic surgeries and cosmetic procedures has evolved into an unbelievable amount of innovation. I mean, you can inject extra ass into yourself. You can stretch your face out. You can get your breast bigger. You can re-virginize your vagina. I kid you not. I mean, you could do anything, man. And you know something, folks? Because supply and demand went up, the price of these procedures went down. I remember a woman getting a breast implant augmentation back in the mid-'80s, and that damn augmentation cost the bastard that paid for it for her $20,000+. $20,000+ for a breast job. Meanwhile, in today's market, women can go get breast jobs for like $2,500. All right, I'm not even joking around. I mean, it is that cheap. Now, what's wrong with that picture? Why is it that a woman can go get a breast job or go get an ass implant or go get re-virginized or go get a nose job or whatever procedure that is, and somebody that's got to get arteries unclogged have to get a $150,000 bill imposed on them, or somebody that has to get some kind of growth or suspected cancer surgically extracted from them. It costs them $150,000, $200,000. It makes no sense, and the reason it makes no sense is because the insurance system promotes this type of crap. That's why, folks, ever since Obamacare came into actual reality, haven't you noticed more and more people are getting sick? Haven't you noticed more and more people are getting cancer? They're going through chemo. People are getting sick. They're getting younger and getting sick. And the reason is, folks, is because there is a financial incentive now under the current insurance scam system that it's almost financially viable to make sure that you are sick. I mean, if they were to find some little anomaly in your body, I mean, they're telling you, oh, we got to go. We have to put you on the chemotherapy. We got to do this and that. You know, I'm telling you, even the people that invented the tests for cancer, like the guy who invented the breast cancer test and the guy who invented the prostate cancer test, even they are saying that they didn't intend for these tests to be an overdiagnosis mechanism as they're seeing in practitioners today. All right? I mean, even the inventors of the test of cancer are saying that this is being overdiagnosed. And the reason they're overdiagnosing it, well, just take a look at how much a chemotherapy session is. Take a look at how much all these doctors and all these people are making money off of the insurance system. That's why the insurances are going up, folks, because the doctors are making sure that there's things wrong with people, okay? All right? And that's why I'm telling you right now, this is why we're seeing insurance rates go up, because we have doctors saying, "Oh, look, well, man, we gotta send you for some kind of a test. I'm going to refer you to this person," and they're doing that so they can give each other referral fees. And it's such a scam. I mean, I'd prefer just to drop dead at this point, as opposed to go to some idiot doctor who's going to probably find some stupid anomaly within my body or something, and then claim that I need to inject myself with radiation in order to get rid of it. I mean, give me a break. Anyway, look, I don't want to get off on that tirade. I'm just simply stating, folks, there should be no reason why patient health insurance should be mandated on people. Anyway, let me move on to another couple of subject matters because we're running out of time here. After much hype, Project Veritas's James O'Keefe had been advertising some sort of WikiLeaks-style drop of information relating to the internal workings of CNN. He dubbed it CNN leaks. Everybody was anticipating this big, huge drop. I mean, you had media outlets from the independent media overhyping this drop. It was supposed to be some big, huge deal. Big, huge nothing burger. I have to admit, James O'Keefe, this was a huge disappointment. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to degrade your past work, but by hyping up something that is a nothing burger like this is just demeaning your integrity, sir. And I think that you've done way too much in your past in investigating and in uncovering through your own political operatives, corruption, and other illegal activities, that this particular drop of the CNN leaks was an utter disappointment. All right? It's an utter disappointment. I'm serious, man. I mean, give me a break. What else do you call it? It's a disappointment. You know what he did, James O'Keefe? He basically said that he has 100 hours of supposed tape of, I don't know if it's audio or video or I don't know, but he posted it up to his Project Veritas site. And he basically called on the public to go through it to find anything. I mean, are you kidding me? I'm not even joking. This idiot called on the people that are out there in the Project Veritas community to go through all the audio, I guess it's audio, in relation to, I don't know, what they've uncovered at CNN. And you know something? A lot of this audio is from back in 2009, 2010. Why is this even relevant now there, O'Keefe? I mean, Jesus Christ, this is during the Obama administration. What is that going to do for us now? I mean, why? Why did you do this, O'Keefe? Why did you hype this crap? Why did you overhype this whole nonsense that you were going to freaking there's Chopper. There's the Chopper. Anyway, let me tell you something, O'Keefe, all right? I don't know what you were doing by over-hyper-sensationalizing the CNN leaks. You even trolled WikiLeaks into believing that you were going to drop something amazing. I'm pretty sure the folks at WikiLeaks were like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? I'm sure they're like, what the hell is this? This was a big disappointment. And look, you should never hype anything if you don't have anything, O'Keefe, all right? You really should not. I mean, whenever I say that I have something and I'm going to drop something, I do it. Y'all remember when I said I had the D.C. Madams list of phone numbers of Johns that called her phone number? I had it, all right? Remember when I said I was going to dox the leadership of the Black Panther Party? I did it, all right? And the only reason I did it was because the Black Panthers claimed that they were going to show up at the Republican convention with guns, and I pretty much cut that off at the past. So that's why I'm saying, folks, that this was a big disappointment, and I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why people on the right wing of the political spectrum are now discrediting themselves, man. Why are they discrediting themselves?
Calling the beautifully redesigned 2017 Mercedes-Benz CLA simply a four-door coupe is like describing a world-class athlete as just a good runner. With its sleek profile and powerful turbocharged engine, the CLA offers agility and design that are unmatched in its class, and it's available now at an exceptional price. Why drive any four-door coupe when you could be driving the 2017 Mercedes-Benz CLA? Visit MBUSA.com/CLA to learn more. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Good God. I mean, it's a disappointment. I'm sorry. This O'Keefe Project Veritas CNN leaks a big nothing burger. And not to mention, O'Keefe wants you guys, the listeners, to go and listen and do the dirty work for him, for heaven's sake. 100+ hours of audio? Who cares? Going back to 2009? Who cares? Anyway, folks, once again, James O'Keefe, his WikiLeaks-style CNN leaks it just falls completely flat. And, you know, it's a big disappointment because this man has done great work, and for him to hyper-sensationalize a big nothing burger like this, it pretty much just ruins his credibility as far as I'm concerned. It just completely ruins his credibility. Anyway, let's move on to another subject matter. Did you hear in Denmark, a man who burned the Koran and posted it on Facebook is now being prosecuted for blasphemy, folks? How do you like that? Denmark now prosecuting people who burn the Koran. All right, a 42-year-old man who burned a Koran and posted it on Facebook has been charged with blasphemy in Denmark. I'm serious, man. And, you know, no one has been convicted of blasphemy in Denmark since, like, 1946. All right? 1946. So now, Sharia law is now coming to Western civilization, folks. All right? I mean, look, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, okay? I don't see nothing wrong with burning a Koran. I don't see nothing wrong with it. As a matter of fact, I mean, why is that so much worse than like Marilyn Manson getting on a stage and ripping up pages from the Bible? I'm just saying. Why? Why is there any different? And look, what Muslims need to understand is that, look, we're a secular nation, okay? I mean, we believe in the freedom of speech and the freedom of expression. All right, burning of a book doesn't mean jack. All right, the drawing of a prophet doesn't mean anything. If you morons are out there and you believe it's blasphemy and you believe that it's some kind of bad thing to your religion, well then with all due respect, why don't you stay in your homeland where you belong so you can go and dictate all that Sharia law nonsense in your homeland? I mean, no, this isn't even somebody that's in a Muslim country. This is Denmark, right? I'm serious. This is Denmark. This is goddamn Denmark, for Christ's sake. They're going to prosecute a man for burning a Koran for blasphemy. And folks, if you're not aware, Denmark has a weird law that, like I've told you, no one has been prosecuted under this law since 1946, in which it prohibits the people from acting in any kind of blasphemy against any religion in general. So if they disrespect any religion in Denmark, they could be prosecuted for blasphemy. I mean, this is insane. This is completely insane. But folks, if we continue to embrace this migrant crisis, if we allow the liberals that are all across this country trying to say no Muslim ban, bring the Muslims in, and all this other nonsense, then we're going to see this kind of crap that is happening in Denmark happen right here in this country. I don't want this country to turn into that. I don't want this country to turn in where we have to accept women with hijabs. I mean, did y'all see Le Pen, what was it, day before yesterday? She was supposed to meet with some stupid idiot in Lebanon, and they told her to wear a hijab, and she said she wasn't going to wear it, and she just walked the hell out of there, didn't even bother to meet with this son of a bitch. You're goddamn right. I mean, where are the feminists to champion that? I mean, that was a feminist move. Where are the feminists to champion that? She literally told that dumb Jehudi to take that goddamn hijab and shove it up his Jehudi ass. And she walked out. She walked out. I mean, we in the West, we all have to collectively, and when I mean collectively, I'm talking perceive. I'm not talking about means of production, economics. We need to collectively reject the hijab as nothing more than a symbol of oppression of women. And if we on the right emphasize that, if we on the right say that the hijab is a oppression symbol of women, how are feminists going to go and debate that? How are they going to counteract that? What are they going to say, Islamophobia? Islamophobia? Well, then why don't we tell those same feminists that are saying Islamophobia, why don't we send them to Saudi Arabia? Why don't we send them to some of these places where they won't have the ability to mouth off of their flapping gator about all the problems and how they want men to make them a sandwich and all this crap? They won't have the ability or the right to do that. They wouldn't even have the rights to do it. So once again, I mean, a Danish man out of Denmark who burned a Koran on Facebook now being prosecuted for blasphemy. I mean, just wait until that comes over here to America. I wouldn't be surprised if you did that in Germany, if you'd be prosecuted now. If you did that in France, you'd be prosecuted now. If you did that in Sweden, you'd be prosecuted now. That cannot happen in America. We need to emphasize our free speech. We need to emphasize our freedom of expression. And we need to tell everybody that the hijab is a symbol of woman oppression. And if we can deliver that message to women as far as it relates to the capitalist right, there's no way women can debate that it is not a oppression symbol of women. The hijab is beyond an oppression symbol of women. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter, folks. We're running out of time. All right, did y'all hear Popey out here? Pope Francis? I'm telling you, this idiot always puts his foot in his mouth. If there's a God, why aren't you striking this son of a bitch with freaking lightning, please? This guy is probably the most blasphemous idiot on the face of the planet, all right? If you didn't hear Popey over here, Pope Francis suggests that it's better just to be an atheist than a bad Christian. Oh, can you believe that? Oh, it's just better to be an atheist than a bad Christian. What the hell are you, the Pope? You're the bad Christian. You're the hypocrite. You're going against tradition. You're going against your own church, you fucking hypocrite. Excuse my French, folks. But who's a bad Christian in this regard? Here you've got the Pope saying, oh, it's okay if you had an abortion. Oh, it's okay. You are still good. Oh, it's okay. And shut up. I'm sick of this Pope. I'm sick of this Pope. I spit on this Pope. All right? This Pope is probably the most disgusting, filthy popes that have ever existed, at least in my lifetime, for Christ's sake. And why you Catholics are still obliging this idiot is beyond me. Not even the Knights of Malta agree with this son of a bitch. Have y'all heard that? I mean, you've got the leader of the Knights of Malta stepping down because of this sorry sack of crap, Pope Francis, for Christ's sake. It's better to be an atheist than a bad Christian. So what does that make you, Popey? Huh? You an atheist there, boy? Huh? You a leftist there, boy? Huh? Do you remember when Pope Francis was talking garbage to Trump because of the wall? Oh, it is ungodly to have walls. Yeah, ungodly to have walls. And here you are in back of 300-foot walls, you stupid Pope hypocrite. I hate that freaking Pope, man. Let's go. Everybody, you know what? Just bow your heads. Everybody bow your heads. We're going to pray right now. Everybody bow your heads, all right? God, if you're listening, why in the hell do you have Pope Francis walk in the face of the earth without throwing a lightning strike at this son of a bitch for being a complete and utter blasphemous idiot? I mean, how can you let this man walk the earth and claim that he's doing anything in your name, God? Stricken this man. Stricken this man, God. Good God. How could you allow this man to just sow the seeds of dissension on the world? How could you allow this man to be completely hypocritical? How could you allow this man to enable the socialists to destroy Europe via the migrant crisis? Smite thee, God! Smite thee, Pope! Smite thee, Pope! I'm not going to sit over here and allow some stupid two-bit Pope to sit here and redefine dogma. Give me a break. Anyway, God, please, if you could just, shorten the trip of life on the Pope Francis for me, I would really appreciate it. All right, God? This guy's making an ass out of you, God. Please, if you're listening, can you do something about the Pope? He's making me sick, all right? And he's making everybody else sick. Amen. All right, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. The Pope Francis is the one I hate the most. Amen. All right. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Oh, like a high, like a hiney hole, like a high, like a hiney hole, like a high, like a hiney hole. Amen. All right, I think we've gotten that out of the way. All right, sorry about that, folks. It had to be done. I'm sorry it had to be done. Anyway, once again, Pope suggests that it's better to be an atheist than a bad Christian, huh? Anyway, last but not least, folks, have you heard that the European welfare benefits that are being dispensed to all the wild Yehudis that are coming into Europe? Well, those benefits, those welfare benefits are being used to fund ISIS, folks. That's correct. A report came out today that all the benefits that are being accorded to these Yehudi so-called refugees, migrants, they are being funneled to help fund ISIS operations. And this just goes to show you that I told you Europeans so, that the government of the European Union, the socialist governments of the European Union, are using this migrant crisis against you to not only just dilute your culture, but to act as muscle to get you to shut your asses up if you happen to get uppity. All right? I mean, they are utilizing the migrant crisis as muscle. And now it just proves that ISIS is an operation that has been funded by the CIA, NATO, and everybody else who's conducting these kinds of nefarious operations in the Middle East. I mean, here we have ISIS collecting money off of the government dole in Europe. I'm serious. I mean, we've got ISIS collecting off of the European government dole and actually funding their ISIS operations with this capital. That's just freaking unbelievable, for Christ's sake. Anyway, once again, European welfare benefits help fund ISIS fighters, all right? I'm just going to give you a couple of instances. A Danish official said this week that 29 citizens were given $100,000 in public pension benefits because they were considered too ill or disabled to work, and then fled to Syria. All right? Yeah. How you like that? How you like that? I mean, give me a break. Anyway, folks, look, I've had about enough of talking about this, all right? But once again, European welfare benefits are helping fund ISIS fighters. So, that's another reason you Europeans can continue to say that, oh, we're open to the migrants. We love them. Jesus Christ. So anyway, without any further ado, folks, all right, we got 20 minutes left in the broadcast here. Let me go ahead and take a chug of this particular drink here. Good stuff. Now, we got about 20 minutes left. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the last 15 minutes and do a little bit of radio graffiti. And let me explain something to you guys, all right? The reason I got rid of radio graffiti is, unfortunately, we've got a lot of tards that, for whatever reason, use this as a means of inflating their very, very disturbed egos. And a lot of these folks, for lack of a better term, are furries and cartoon fetished idiots and that sort of thing. And I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I mean, I don't particularly like those people. But much like the capitalist right, I'm accepting to anybody who happens to be a capitalist. All right, so if you happen to be a capitalist, I'll be more than happy to just accept whatever you're doing, but doesn't mean I have to like the son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean I have to like it. So as a result, I don't like furries. I'm sorry, all right? And I don't like the cartoon fetish nonsense. And I don't like that I'm a magnet to tards. I'm a magnet to tards, for Christ's sake, and I don't want to be a magnet to tards anymore. I don't want to be a magnet to tards anymore. God damn it. I don't want to be a magnet to tards anymore. It's frustrating. It's frustrating being a magnet to tards, man. It's frustrating being a magnet to tards. I'm telling you this right now. But I'm telling you this. I'm going to leave this up to the people. You people who want Radio Graffiti, you better choose what side you're on right now, because tomorrow we're going to release some merchandise for Mr. Optimism. We're going to release some merchandise for Mr. Fortune Cookie. And it's either Team Mr. Optimism or Team Mr. Fortune Cookie. And let me tell you, whoever you choose, you better hope they win as it relates to the autograph race. Because let me tell you, whoever you choose, if you troll terrorist happen to win, then I'll bring back Radio Graffiti for 40 minutes every goddamn day and for at least another year. How you like that, huh? How you like that? So choose your side. What side do you choose? Mr. Optimism or Mr. Fortune Cookie? Choose it now. Choose it now. Anyway, folks, once again, you trolls better choose a side, baby. You understand that? You better choose a goddamn side there, boy. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, folks, without any further ado, I also want to keep everybody in mind that there's going to be another, I think, 10 slots for the Inner Circle that are going to be up this weekend at an undisclosed time. I'm only going to tell the Inner Circle when the hell they're going to be on there because we're recruiting from within, but I don't want to pretend like I'm not giving everybody an opportunity. So if you really want to be in it, it'll go up sometime this weekend. You got to figure it out. It'll probably be at nighttime. And people in the Inner Circle are saying, raise the price, raise the price. Oh, my God. Anyway, without any further ado, folks, all right? Without any further ado, we've got about 15 minutes, okay? 15 minutes. And if you troll terrorists and cyber vermin want 40 minutes of Radio Graffiti every single day, you better choose which team you're on, okay? I'm leaving it up to you. I'm leaving it up to you, to the people. To the people! Woo! Anyway, folks, without any further ado, let's just go and dabble in to the last 15 minutes. All right, the last 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and get to everybody's favorite part of the broadcast. And I know everybody wants 40 minutes. All right, 40 minutes every day of Radio Graffiti. But, hey, listen, I don't like being a magnet to tards, God damn it. And you've got to understand this, all right? You've got to understand this. And, look, I'm getting a lot of Mr. Fortune Cookie. Wait a minute, are the trolls choosing Mr. Fortune Cookie? All right, I mean, somebody better, is that what the trolls are choosing? They're choosing Mr. Fortune Cookie. You better let me know via Twitter here in the next 15 minutes. Are the trolls choosing Mr. Fortune Cookie? All right? Because if y'all trolls are choosing Mr. Fortune Cookie, then that means Mr. Fortune Cookie has to sell the most to win a Radio Graffiti once again for 40 minutes. 40 minutes every day for at least a year, all right? 40 minutes of Radio Graffiti, all right? How you like that? How you like that? And they'll be on sale tomorrow, okay? They'll be on sale tomorrow. So let me know if y'all are going with Mr. Fortune Cookie, all right? Let me know if y'all are going with Mr. Fortune Cookie. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to everybody's favorite part of the broadcast, and I'm talking about Radio Graffiti. Radio Graffiti, a part of the broadcast where the spectators become a part of the spectacle. All you've got to do is give me a call right now at 516-453-9903. And when I call on your area code, you've got exactly 3 to 4 seconds to say whatever it is that's on your mind. That's why we call this Radio Graffiti. Now, once again, folks, it looks like the trolls are choosing Mr. Fortune Cookie, so it looks like y'all damn trolls are down with the commies, aren't you, huh? Y'all trolls are down with the commies. Now, let me explain what's going on sale tomorrow. We are having a picture of Mr. Fortune Cookie. He is going to sign it personally, and it's going to have his signature in Chinese and in, I guess, American. And it is going to be a pretty cool-looking piece of merch. On the front of it, it's going to have Mr. Fortune Cookie's picture. And on the back, it's going to say, "I'm Mr. Fortune Cookie, thank you very much," with the number. And it also has a little message that Mr. Fortune Cookie is going to say. And it may or may not come with a small little fortune in there, just in case you people want, Mr. Fortune Cookie's fortune. We may even throw one in there. As for Mr. Optimism is going to have a picture of himself saying, "Hi, I'm Mr. Optimism." He is going to, it's a pretty wicked picture of Mr. Optimism. We had him pose, and he's wearing, his optimistic gear. There's sayings around it like think positive, think optimism, be positive, find happiness, live joy. And the back it says, "Don't worry about anything, just continue to be happy inside," with the signature and the number. So it's going to be pretty cool stuff. Check it out tomorrow, and let's go ahead and get to everybody's favorite part. Do we have any Radio Graffiti callers, engineer? All right, well, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to Radio Graffiti right now. All right, Anonymous Radio Graffiti. Mr. Sev, Radio Graffiti. Mr. Sev, Radio Boo-Boo. Hand your Templeton. Oh, Christ! Oh, Christ, no! I don't know what the hell to do here! Oh, my... Wash away the knickers! Wait, turn that. What the hell kind of a bad acid trip crap was that? Good God. Anonymous Radio Graffiti.
Welcome aboard on the African Booty Cruise Lines. Go on an unforgettable journey to the beautiful Californian Sea. It's an unforgettable experience. It's a journey full of adventures. Join us, and you're going to see the underwater remains of Oroville, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and other ancient cities of the West Coast.
Damn, Oroville. Califas in Agua. Oh, yeah. Woo!
Sign in for the journey you'll never forget. Call right now, 563-999-3791. We're having a 50% discount for the EBT users.
This goddamn African booty scratcher! God damn it! Damn African booty scratcher! God damn you! You son of a bitch! Jesus Christ, that freaking guy, man! Every goddamn day, that goddamn African booty scratcher! I freaking hate that guy! I freaking hate that guy, man! Goddamn African asshole. Give me the mic! Damn African booty scratcher piece of crap! I'm telling you, man. This is the kind of crap that I'm going to have to get. Hey, why do you think I don't like doing this goddamn Radio Graffiti, for Christ's sake, man? Look, since the trolls are taking Team Fortune Cookie, I mean, man, look, Mr. Optimism, man, they have to sell more than Fortune Cookie, man. I don't want to bring back Radio Graffiti for 40 minutes, man. You're listening to this crap. Jesus Christ, man. 269 Radio Graffiti.
Howdy there, Shook. Top of the morning to you, Jack. Boy, you know this show is a good ditty right here. Master gonna love us. So I was hungry. What should we eat? Some of that good old watermelon. Oh, yeah. Eat that watermelon. Eat that watermelon. Eat that watermelon. Sure is good. Eat that watermelon. Eat that watermelon. Eat that watermelon. Sure is good.
Man, I mean, come on, man. That's racist, man. That's racist. Come on. Come on! That's racist, man! Jesus Christ, you idiots, man. 918 Radio Graffiti.
Calling the beautifully redesigned 2017 Mercedes-Benz CLA simply a four-door coupe is like describing a world-class athlete as just a good runner. With its sleek profile and powerful turbocharged engine, the CLA offers agility and design that are unmatched in its class, and it's available now at an exceptional price. Why drive any four-door coupe when you could be driving the 2017 Mercedes-Benz CLA? Visit mbusa.com/CLA to learn more. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Calling the 2017 Mercedes-Benz GLA simply a compact SUV is like describing a cathedral as just four walls and a ceiling. The GLA is both a beautiful work of design and one of the most functional SUVs in its class, and it's available at an exceptional price. Why drive any compact SUV when you could be driving the 2017 Mercedes-Benz GLA? Visit mbusa.com/GLA to learn more. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Yeah. Okay. You took too long, you stupid idiot. How about 443 Radio Graffiti?
Did I get this shit again, you fucking lazy ass sack of shit? You talk about me and my gullet one more motherfucking time, I'm gonna get this shit liposuction and I'm gonna shove it and make a dildo out of it, a giant John Holmes type, and then shove it up that fucking Templeton busted out butthole of yours. You hear me? You hear me, motherfucker? I'm gonna come down.
Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. Did I hear a man back there as well? Did I hear a male back there?
Yes, you did.
So somebody's
darling.
banging you? Somebody's really banging you?
Yes, more often than Templeton bangs your butthole, sweetheart. He bangs it every night. He knocks the back out of it.
Oh, my God, man. I can literally hear the fat in your windpipe, man. How much do you eat each day? What are your calorie intake?
I like to give a shout-out to Comfy, though, now. You fat, gobbly-looking
No, I'm asking you, how much do you eat each day? Because I can hear the fat in your voice. I mean, it is obvious that you're a fat, disgusting slut skankosaurus.
How can I be a slut skank and be fat at the same time, motherfucker? You're like, oh, God.
Hey, we just had a million woman march talking about all of them giving away their pussies, and there were all a gangload of fatties out there. What are you talking about?
They gave away their pussies, and you get laid. You get laid more often than they gave out their pussies. Don't fuck with me, ghosty woasty.
All right, get this stupid whore out of here. Get her out of here, for Christ's sake. I wouldn't be surprised if our tax dollars are feeding this disgusting, slovenly, fat jelly-ass pile of protoplasm. Jesus Christ, man. You know what? Keep eating, fatty. How you like that? Keep eating, fatty! Keep eating! Jesus Christ. 435, Radio Graffiti.
I want my money back.
Yeah.
The motherfuckers got screwed up bad.
Yeah.
It's filled with nothing but some serious fags.
Yeah.
They'll fuck those loco piston raging fast.
Yeah.
No, we're not going there, for Christ's sake. All right, and don't make fun of, don't make reference to El Foxo, whoever. All right. I mean, come on. We all know that obviously that person has obviously been affected by the AIDS, and it's affecting his mind. So just calm down. All right. Obviously, there's some bad meat in the can there, and he's gone off keister, and now he's upset and he's angry. He's upset and angry, and I don't blame him. So instead of being online and pretending that you're some furry fox, go service a glory hole somewhere there, boy. All right? And oh, yeah, tell the FTC to eat my dick up till they hiccup. Anyway, who else do we have here? How about Anonymous Radio Graffiti?
I, the African Booty Scratcher, am officially choosing the side of Mr. Fortune Cookie Motherfucker.
Now, you see that? You see that? Even the African Booty Scratcher is choosing Mr. Fortune Cookie. I knew you troll terrorist. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. You son of a bitch, I knew it, man. Look, you guys out there, you need to start buying Mr. Optimism merch, man. You can't let these trolls win. We can't let these trolls win. God damn it. We can't let these goddamn trolls win, man. We can't let these trolls win. Give me the mic. Give me the mic. Jesus Christ. We can't let these damn trolls win, all right? Jesus Christ. How about anonymous radio goddamn graffiti? Sell African Booty Scratchers merch.
Sell African Booty Scratchers merch.
Sell African Booty Scratchers.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut your mouth. 352 Radio Graffiti. Rocket Radio Graffiti.
Eat that Rambo, eat that Rambo, eat that Rambo. All is good. Eat that Rambo, eat that Rambo, eat that Rambo.
All right, we get it, you racist pricks. Jesus Christ, you and this racism, man. 810 Radio Graffiti.
Over my stomach, between my thighs, with his long-fingered hands. Oh my. I shoot my
No, we're not listening to George Takei. Are you kidding me? You think this is a big joke, don't you? Sick sons of bitches. 337 Radio Graffiti.
Hey, Gus, I got a question for you. If you dislike the company of mentally disabled people so much, why did you pay so much money to move the engineer all the way from...
Hey, you know what? Shut up. That's none of your business. You got to figure that crap out on your own. How about 609 Radio Graffiti?
Dormy Sweet, Radio Graffiti.
These goddamn freaking short bus tards, goddamn you. I don't want to be a goddamn tard magnet anymore, man. What?
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this.
Goddamn short bus retarded. You son of a bitch. You know, I know you short bus asshole. Goddamn short bus! You're tards! All of you, you're tards! You're tards, you son of a bitch! Oh, you know what? That's it, for Christ's sake. I'm done with this Bathhouse Thursday. I'm done with this Bathhouse Thursday, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ, I'm done with this Bathhouse Thursday. Give me the mic. Look, I'm done with this Bathhouse Thursday. I'm done with all this crap. I'm done with this crap. Follow me on Twitter if you want to. I don't care. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. All one word, no underscores. Politics goddamn Ghost. And by the way, tomorrow, and maybe even tonight, I don't know, Fortune Cookie merch, Optimism merch, it's Team Optimism. We've got to beat Mr. Fortune Cookie! We've got to beat Mr. Fortune Cookie!